Angel, you forgot to tell the story about the eyeliner.
We didn't get a chance to get back to it.
Let's see if this works. If I did the mic right.
It's just one thing you got.
So it'll be 1 and 2. It don't be reading though.
I don't read for you. Do you want to check the link?
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Got on the wrong color, sorry. Ain't that about a bitch? Let's try again. You got a copyright claim?
It's because we were playing music.
Oh yeah, Kevin always.
But
music.
I noticed now though they're just blocking in some countries
Russia and Belarus.
because they don't support American music.
Man, it be Russia every time. They block my
Mom Dorothy want to watch?
Oh yeah, you can send it.
Where's Mama Dorothy?
She in Calabasas.
I ain't seen her.
Yeah, she's working. She said she said you know.
Hey,
I don't get to spend
test
any time with
1,
Josh,
2, 3,
Kevin,
4,
or
5,
Melissa.
6, 7.
Well, I'm saying test the mic on the link.
Oh,
That's it.
is it live?
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't given it to anybody. But
I just emailed it to you guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Away, away,
I
away
said nobody gets to spend time with Josh, Kevin, or Melissa.
from the noise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then we'll readjust, or I'll finalize the camera stuff.
Oh, wait, hear your voice. Be with you. It's been a while.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
My heart's desire is.
Have the boys been playing Hogwarts Legacy?
Isaiah has. He sent us a picture. He's like, "You can have cornrows in this."
It's a really fun game.
That's actually what made me make that video. He put some straight backs on his character. So what is it though? Are you a wizard boy?
You're a wizard boy going through a year at Hogwarts.
So you start off like Harry Potter did.
Yeah.
Freshman?
You actually come in as like a super senior, which is kind of weird. Like you're older, so you can, and it makes more sense because then when like the real fights come in, you can be more involved in that. They're not just gonna be pulling a freshman into.
So it transfers you to Hogwarts.
The evil, nasty wizards.
Wizards.
We're just waiting a couple minutes, guys.
Let me send this link. Adrian.
We should be able to have this act as grown up to
It's childhood all over again.
You see all the memes of the people walking by the Slytherin house and they're playing like crazy trap music and stuff?
No. Why Slytherin?
Because Slytherin's supposed to be like the bad bunch of the.
Oh, got it.
No man, I can't come over.
Away, away, away from the noise.
Did y'all know that they had a specific like little thing they say
Away,
when they're
away,
in the Harry Potter world? Specific like Levioso Mosquitoes. Because I was like, Sean Diablo,
Yeah.
And they were like, she was like, no. He was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, no?
Oh my god! Shoot that hole tomorrow. Shoot that hole tomorrow.
Oh, let's go.
I saw that very first one, the real one, and I did not think it's so interesting when things continue to blow up.
Drugs.
I'm all in.
It's in my blood. Josh is all into the video. Loves it so much.
I love video games, man.
So it's a Harry Potter video game?
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
And it's like up to 35 hours of gameplay if you want to do like every nook and cranny in the game.
So you like challenge accepted?
I'm not doing all of it, but like just to do the main portion of the game is probably like they said 15 to 18 hours. I'm only like 2 in right now.
So I challenged my son to Super Mario Kart.
Uh-oh.
We played several times. We recorded it whenever he puts it up. I'll let people know the results, but Mama didn't come to play. Hello, everybody who's in jail for the land of the free. Yes, hell the whole of the bread.
What are you singing, Andrew?
Home of the
Is that Chris Stapleton?
bread. Bread.
Hallelujah. I think Israel was in his bag.
Yeah, he was.
Away from the noise. South Africa.
I know. I had that album.
Along with you.
What's up,
I
my
like-
guy? No.
I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. I am a friend of God. He calls me red. He calls me red. He calls me red. What's your? What is that? Oh.
This is so much food.
It's a lot. Everybody say I am a friend of God. I was born in the USA. Yeah, we don't get that ad no more.
I feel like they canceled a lot of ads on us.
Yes,
It's
they
alright.
did. They didn't on TBTB. I tell you what. They said, we'll give you all of them. I got to actually sit down and pull episode pieces.
TV.
Yeah. I'm going to try to do it tonight. I was listening. Keep your eyes on me. Eyes on me. Apply the pressure. Yeah. Oh, I got to see
She's a friend of the pod.
old videos of her. It's so crazy.
Oh, watching her way back.
Yeah. That people are like, this is her when she was just uploading songs to YouTube. I'm like, people who weren't famous were uploading songs singing on YouTube.
That was Discovery. That was Discovery before TikTok.
I know. And I just it's amazing to me to think that that's how it works. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy for Finland.
Why is this one?
What? Put together differently? What?
This one's not. Oh, there. I'm messing with my head.
He's like, something ain't right.
I guess it should be. Like this needs to go underneath.
Crazy for that. Crazy for crazy for
It's been a long day, guys. Many much lenders.
I'm gonna be right back. See this man, y'all. Like to have his own little private.
Yeah, man. Let us meet him too. Give us preferences. We give ourselves preferences.
The stream is already live, just FYI. So you and Kevin got your food.
Amazing.
You guys!
Oh, you got Chick-fil-A. We doing it.
No, we got
it's
Portos.
Portos.
Oh, look at who's here!
God is amazing. God is amazing at all times.
Oh, they gave an emoji plate.
Oh,
that's-
Are you hungry?
Yeah, I am starving.
Okay, well come look.
Y'all about to-
Come on over here.
I'm about to
Turn
say,
on the
y'all gonna
light.
see me eat live. I
You
am
don't
starving.
have. You can grab some food.
Yeah, you
first.
don't-
We ain't gonna make you.
So
Y'all give Keith a second. He's
This is,
hungry.
We ordered extra if you want to make a video. You want to just take it back to the room.
Look at y'all being
Oh, yeah.
thoughtful.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
I gotta wash my hands.
Wash your
yeah,
hands.
yeah.
Let me walk.
Yeah, show him where it is.
Show him.
Keith is here. He is such a sweet young man.
Y'all saw Keith?
I'm excited.
I'm very excited. He's got good energy.
He's got great energy.
Just radiating.
He's got great energy. I wouldn't drive him from where he did.
Oh my God. And
There's
that
no way. I would not have the energy he has.
rented the car and drove.
You talking about
You
being
know
like,
what? That's the problem with visiting LA is you don't know
you don't really
what
understand
it takes.
Yeah. And when
Oh.
you say LA, people be like, oh, when I get into LA, and we're
right.
like, no.
Or they'll see the distance. Oh, that's 25 miles.
And
I can get there in 20 minutes.
You're like, no,
Mm-mm.
no, there's no such thing as get somewhere 25 miles away
Negative.
in 20 minutes.
No.
It's not happening. So I texted Kev. I was like, should we get him something to eat? Kevin was like, I'm ordering Portos. And Kevin lost his whole mind.
Oh, he ordered everything
He
Porto.
ordered Portos.
Porto. He called Porto himself.
Right.
He said, hey, I want it.
He said, well, my Cubano friends, give me everything y'all cook. Ja doesn't know. Oh, well, Ja, you gonna know by the end of this who he is.
Perfect.
If you don't know
Yeah,
already. This is the perfect.
He's telling the story with us first. He chose us. Everybody asked him,
And he chose us.
but he chose us,
Oh,
just like our God did.
yes, he did. Yes. He's so okay, because you're not on TikTok. Oh, this is great. We're gonna introduce you to somebody who's got great energy.
Mm-hmm.
Really great energy. He's on Instagram too, but he's where he has
TikTok
blown
is-
up
is
the
where-
tick of the talk. You don't
Mhm.
stop. Yeah, y'all came up in here. There's over 1,000. Well, dropped a little bit, but it'll go right back up. Thank y'all for coming here. So late. Then this is the thing I noticed about my friend Kevin.
He
when
left?
a song,
He-
he went to
He left. I'm just kidding.
no. Just
He was like, ah.
What you don't understand about the thing, Kevin?
one thing that I understand about you is that when a song is in your
Oh, it's
head,
in there. All
that
right,
god
fuck
dang
around.
going Samaya. Oh, we giving a tour?
Come on.
Let's do it. This is my office. Please, First Lady.
Creative genius, really.
Should I go on the tour, guys? Or should I hang out with you?
How did my chair get in here? They just threw it in here? Okay.
This is actually the picture that we took the day we moved to LA. Oh yeah.
Yo, y'all got the chat going crazy. I might have to put it in slow mode for the first time. Sorry, my glasses are over there. People be saying I don't need the glasses, but I need it to like read the further stuff away, especially at night when I'm driving. That's when I be wearing them. But I'll be wearing them on my camera so I can see who I'm talking to. My eyes are getting worse though. And y'all are in there strong. I know everybody's everywhere too. Anybody from out of the States right now? I know it's take us on the tour. Y'all, these cameras are wired in. Oh, I see Dallas. I see Ohio. I said out of the States, guys. OHIO. Houston. All right, so it's not that late. Toronto. Simi Valley. Oh, that's my backyard, man. Y'all down the street. Virginia Beach. Oh, they told me to go on the tour. Tulsa, Nashville, Texas. What'd y'all eat for dinner? See London. See, I was looking for overseas. So what time is not what 8:30 over there? 9, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. It's 4 in the morning over there, or 5 in the morning. Either way. Pittsburgh. Somebody had garlic bread for dinner. Lord Jesus. Garlic bread hits so. It was like the pre-made one that you get like from Publix or Kroger. You just throw in the oven. That's a sleeper. Yeah, this chat is booming today. I'm loving it. Bahamas. Oh, I got a chat right here. Raising Cane's. Hot take on Raising Cane's. The sauce is the best thing they got going for them, and the bread, of course. The toast. I lied. The toast. Chick-fil-A always sounds fire. Yeah, the toast and the sauce. I low key, I would order just a side of toast and extra of the cane sauce and just dip it. I don't know how I'm reading this chat. This chat is flowing. Guys, you're not gonna be able to read the chat today.
You got children.
You got a baby that can't even hold up.
I'm in Keith's seat. I just got a warm for.
So
Oh,
anyway,
wait a minute.
this is
Pick-
Porto's.
Pick out whatever you want to eat.
Porto's.
Okay, not
meat,
yet.
everything.
I told you. I told you.
They got the pastries, like the potato balls.
Okay.
Somebody gave me a sandwich and said this is one of the best sandwiches in LA. It was.
I don't know about that. Listen. I mean, it's good.
I would never say the best.
No.
Take that back.
The one thing you got to try, and I would say is good, is churro crusted croissants. Me and Josh had these the day it came out, and it was lit. So you eat pork, chicken? What do you eat? Everything. This is
He's like, I eat both.
I do.
pork,
Just not
Beef.
shellfish.
I just don't.
not shellfish.
Mhm.
Pork, beef,
I was like, okay, baby got an allergy.
Cuban
He can't have
sandwich,
it.
chicken sandwich, chicken torta, and then like the tamale.
Torta.
Chicken torta, yeah.
What's that? You see it?
This is lechon. This is my favorite thing at Porto. It's a pulled pork lechon. It's pulled pork, rice, beans, plantains, plantanos.
Oh, I do love something like that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, get into it.
Get into it.
Are you on camera?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm in the middle.
You
We in the
see
middle?
how-
Eat some and then we'll talk. You don't have to be eating it. Oh, you want some water or something?
Yes, please.
Or do you want? They have an orange. You want to give them?
Ooh,
Do you want the orange
see?
juice?
You like orange juice?
I'll take water.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take water. Orange juice and sandwiches don't sound too appealing.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
They in here.
Hey,
They
hey,
so
hey,
excited.
hey. I'm excited.
So this is just
Hey,
the
hey.
Patreon.
Cool.
This
That's
isn't
dope.
everybody.
That's dope. Hey, everybody.
They call everybody Gen
We about
Pop.
to eat. Is everybody okay with me praying before I eat?
Get into it. Get into
Okay,
it.
I pray before I do anything. I pray before I edit, before I shoot videos.
I saw that,
Before I walk in the house, I pray before everything. I pray before I got out the car.
and I saw,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, we will not interrupt.
Yeah.
Okay, his conversation with the
Amen.
Lord. We're not gonna do that.
Amen.
Room temperature. Room
Amen.
temperature.
You just so ungodly, Kevin.
Kiss his hand.
Evian, please.
Evian?
Yes, please. What you call it?
Evian?
Evian.
Evian?
Evian. Somebody told me I got a country twang in my voice when I.
You do have a country twang
Do
in
I?
your voice, but you're from
Is it-
Detroit.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's country.
Yeah, it's got a little
When
country to it.
you say twang, I immediately think of like North Kakalaki,
Oh, you
Memphis.
No, but it does have you do have a little bit of something. A little bit of something.
Yeah, don't nobody know where I'm from.
No.
There's a whole chicken breast in there.
Yeah.
But if he's off to the side, it's gonna look.
You're
like
missing
off
it.
to the
It's
side.
happening in real time.
There's a whole chicken breast in there.
Yeah.
Mm,
The talking and
I've
the
actually
covering of
never
the mouth.
had that.
that's good. I like it.
I'm just living the life, man.
Living the white, Josh.
You're right. It ain't the best sandwich.
No, I would never say Porto's is the best.
Right.
But
What they're
people
known
from
for is the
It's
bakery, though.
substance.
It's substance.
It's substance.
people in LA.
From the valley, from where we are, it's the only good thing that I would
I've
offer
learned
somebody.
there's not really a lot of good food in LA.
That's what I was about to say.
Listen,
We've been
Nah.
telling people
I'm
that
not from LA.
It's not.
It's the whole thing out here.
Mm.
it's not a
The
lot
food
of
is
good
trash
food in
here, bro.
LA.
They do not do it well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, them street tacos be slapping. Smacking.
Like
I feel like you gotta know where to
You
go.
have to
You gotta
know.
know
and
if you know.
that's on this side. I mean, there's
Mm.
they got taco cars down there, but yeah, there's not a lot of signature LA
I
No.
found that out the hard way.
people when they're
I
like,
found
oh, what
that
do we
out
go
the
eat when we're in LA? I was like, what are you feeling like? Because
I
even
don't know
Roscoe's
what to-
like,
Roscoe's
It
used to
is
be good.
mid.
I
It
had
is
the first
mid.
time.
it's
Big
cool.
I had it the first time I came out here in like 2018, and it was delicious. And
Yeah,
then I had
when I
it
used to
again.
come here before I moved here, it was
delicious.
great.
It was crazy. I'm like, I'm going back just for that. And then I had it again, and I was like, what is this?
Right. What
It didn't
happened?
taste like nothing.
It don't.
Like hot water.
There you go.
LA has a lot of.
And for us to have so
Only thing
many
it has is like
cultures,
steakhouses, like, but there's nothing special. They have a
I mean,
steakhouse that you
LA
have in any other
cares-
city.
Right.
LA cares more about the ambiance,
Yes.
and the vibe, than they
Mhm.
do about the taste of the food.
When we went to dinner with Josh's mom, the restaurant it's the most LA thing ever. They had celery ice cream. That was
Ew,
literally just
why?
blended.
And we
Remember
were
that,
like,
Josh?
oh, it can't possibly. No,
And it was
tastes like-
literally
Ew.
like some ground up
However
celery
you
with
would
ice
imagine-
chips.
They don't care about y'all.
optimism. He's like, he can't just be celery,
Right.
They were like,
It's
yeah,
for real. I'm just like,
That's
it's gotta
exactly
have
what
some
it is.
good
Gotta be
aspect. It
something else.
tasted like a frozen wheatgrass shot.
It was
That
so
sounds
terrible,
trash.
man.
Yeah, that sounds trash.
When you
But
go
the
to like
sandwich is
Chicago, New Orleans, New York,
Right.
Oh, come on, New
Places
Orleans.
of culture.
Atlanta,
Places of
Savannah,
culture.
yeah,
Everything
they have good
tastes good in
food. But
New
LA be like,
Yeah.
you want to be a star, kid.
Vegas is getting a lot better. Like,
Well, the places when you as tourists,
Yeah.
I don't never really go off
Off
the
the
strip,
strip.
same,
and you
same.
never go on the
I
strip.
never.
Yeah.
The strip is
Ever.
terrible.
Uh-uh.
The strip
No.
is
The
terrible.
last place you ate at the bakery where you was
I
giving out
hated
zeros and ones,
I
you're like, this is why I don't go on.
I
This is why I
hated
be on
every
the
bit of
strip.
it. I hated every bit of it. And like you said, it's all aesthetic. It's all
Mhm.
aesthetically fluff and
That's
and
how LA is.
pleasing. Don't nothing taste like nothing.
Man, me and Melissa
Don't
went to this place
And
called
it's
Vespertine,
$100.
and they gonna take your bread.
Oh,
They gonna take your
Yeah.
bread.
that's what they here to do.
We went to
Mhm.
Vespertine, which was like
Salsa and beer is not that good. I don't know
salsa
why.
and
Salsa
beer
is
is good.
fire.
Angel,
Salsa beer is fire. Have you ever had the?
Don't use
I
the
don't
word.
know,
Don't use the
boy.
word
Yes.
fire. Don't use
Okay,
the
I
word
got nothing.
fire.
Angel, now you know it's good.
Next time,
It's
we gotta
alright.
get salsa beer.
You
I
like?
trust you.
I coast.
I trust
No,
you.
I'll coast.
What did you
salsa.
get
trust
though?
her.
I've gotten rice and chicken. I have gotten burritos.
I've only gotten the rice and chicken. That's the best thing on there. I don't eat nothing else from there though. I ain't gonna hold
Customer
you.
service 0.
Oh, they don't. They're like Jamaicans.
And
Jamaican people be like, nigga, just shut up. Eat this or not. I don't really care. I don't like this stuff. This is my restaurant. I don't even care.
I don't mind being talked to crazy. They don't talk to you at all.
Sauce and beer. They do act like you.
45.
They will walk past you in the lobby like you are apparition.
I don't like that stereotype that if the customer service is bad, the food gonna be good.
I don't know, but
I
that's
like
how
that.
Jamaican food is consistent.
Sometimes. No, if you go to certain places like Detroit, or
Yeah,
if you go to some places like New York,
yeah.
we went to Miami and the customer service was terrible, and the food was terrible.
Thank you.
Like it was even worse. The food was worse than the customer service, and the customer service was the worst I've ever had in my life.
No, it's good.
It made me want to get back on the
Yeah, can we
plane and
switch it
leave
on the other side?
immediately.
Boom.
We had
Thank you.
Miami. I had some great Cuban food. I took Josh and Angel to this place that I loved, and nobody had a good time but me.
Oh, it
But
was
in my
terrible.
defense, I
we
said
didn't order.
I only
Yeah,
threw
fish
the
in a
one.
bag.
The grouper in a bag was
Who
the
want
only
to eat
thing I could.
fish out of a lunch bag?
Okay, it was parchment paper. Don't do that like I was just.
it-
Don't do it like it was in a
I
route.
said, nigga, are we
It was
broke?
parchment paper.
It was.
It was parchment paper though.
We had a
That-
sack. He wanted us to eat fish out of a sack lunch bag.
Don't do me,
She
Angel.
said fish in a bag.
It was
It
not
was.
that bad.
Yes, it was. You
No,
were there,
y'all
Josh.
food was
Was it
bad.
good though?
The grouper, no,
no,
their food was terrible.
It was horrible.
Mm.
They overcooked the shrimp. If you overcook shrimp, I don't trust you on anything.
I get it.
I hear you only cook shrimp for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if it dry out, you might
Yeah.
as well be eating packing popcorn. Ain't nothing.
You want
I
us to
really-
eat food out of a bag?
We went to a place last night. We went to a place last night for Valentine's Day called the X Pot in Las Vegas.
Mhm.
Delicious food, like
Mm.
crazy. It's like a hot pot basically.
Mm.
Amazing like Asian dishes and like Asian inspired dishes.
Mhm.
But I'm allergic to shellfish, so that was my first time seeing a whole shrimp or no, a lobster. First time seeing a whole lobster in person. Those are ocean roaches.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are.
It is the
Uh-huh.
Lobster used to be.
nastiest
It used to
I've
be
ever
poor
seen.
man's food. It's disgusting. When
It's
you
the
think too hard
nastiest
about
thing
it, you
I've
be
ever
like,
seen. And it was the
Yeah.
head. The head was on. The legs was still
Oh,
attached.
yeah.
suck the head off that crawfish.
They
I
be-
can't eat
Bro,
it when they
I've
look
never
like
seen
that.
I've never seen it in person before because you just said shrimp and packing peanuts.
Yeah.
That looked like a roach.
It
a
does.
packing
Oh yeah,
roach.
they are the
They
roaches
say
of the
shrimp
ocean.
is roaches of the sea,
That's exactly what it
but they
reminded me
are
of.
good.
I don't know.
If
don't
you
know.
grew up
It didn't
eating
look good. I
roaches, they
wouldn't
could
eat
be
it.
as good as shrimp.
Now, see, if we were playing taboo, that's what I would say to get. I would be like
ocean
roaches.
roaches?
Yeah, and
To
then
give me to say shrimp.
Ocean
Yeah.
roaches, I would have immediately knew what you're talking about now. Before
Yeah.
I would have no idea.
Yeah.
what is you talking
I'd be
about?
like, fish in a bag.
He's like a water bug.
Man.
Oh, we got a history of water bug.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
that was funny at that. We're about to go to that club.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so
It's not
glad.
even selling well
I'm gonna
either.
tell you when I tell you I'm glad I'm not on tour. But
Why are you glad?
I'm very
it
pleased
was
with this, Kevin.
so
Solid?
I appreciate you.
6 out of 10?
Appreciate you, Angel.
Mhm.
I appreciate you.
7 out of 10?
I'm sorry.
when I say that was a lot
Good
of
nourishment.
traveling.
Angel. So I can't tell the whole thing, but
Mm.
next year I can't do it. I can't do not tour, but I can't do like 5 nights. I mean 5 shows over 3 nights.
I guess
I'm only gonna be able to do
3
it-
nights.
5 shows over 3 nights. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds crazy. That sounds nuts.
It be taking so long for the clubs to turn around. You finish the show at like 8:30 and they're not ready to go again till like 10:15. It's the worst. When you get out, you can't eat. It's cold, it's dark.
Somebody said my sound isn't that good. Does it sound like I sound bad, or is it just to that one
Wait.
person?
Wait. Let's check it out. Angel.
What's Patreon? I don't really use YouTube.
Oh, Patreon
Oh,
is
Yo,
Patreon is
God, your life would be something a bit crazy.
you want to talk
Really?
about? Oh my
Really?
God,
Yes,
Keith Lee.
it would.
Guys, Kev plugged this
So,
one in, so I don't know what's happening.
Don't do me, Josh.
It's like it's a paywall
Mhm.
that your super supporters can pay to be a part of, and they
Come close, Angel.
Must say sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Yeah, you sound all right.
They said she sounds fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's a paywall. You
Mhm.
you set whatever the monthly fee is, and it's in
Kind of like a
exchange.
subscription.
Yes,
Yeah.
in exchange for either early
Mm.
access, exclusive access,
Mm.
or what's the other one? It's early, exclusive, extra
Yeah.
content.
Mm, mm.
So Kevin has a Patreon. I have a Patreon. Those are the only people that are able to witness our interview live. Everyone else will have to watch it after it's been edited and uploaded.
So this is our community of supporters.
Mhm.
Mm.
So I'm able to pay for stuff
Mhm.
because Patreon able to pay Angel, Josh, the podcast office,
That's fire.
camera equipment.
Amen.
And we do things like
Churchy.
give them discount codes on merch. Kevin releases his tour tickets early to them so they can be guaranteed a seat. So it's people who are basically like, I
The
want
way you
this
said
to
it,
be-
she was like, it will change your life.
Listen,
you
have
No.
because you got the
Don't say it like that.
you yes
you
You?
won't even need to worry about brand deals no more.
No way.
No, Keith.
Keith.
Yo,
Listen to your brother and sister who
Right.
have been to
That's
college
fire.
and already got a good job in the city.
That's
We work
fire.
for the city.
But see, then you have to be committed to making content on YouTube.
No, you can make
don't.
content
You can make
wherever
content
you
on
want to.
Patreon.
Oh, Patreon is separate than YouTube.
Patreon is. We just use YouTube as a distribution point for
Oh.
Patreon.
This is an unlisted link, so
Yeah.
we post this link that is
To your Patreon.
to my
the
Patreon.
So
Yeah.
they're watching it live.
Yeah, it's how we
okay,
get
okay,
the
okay.
information. It's basically like a
Makes sense.
closed
Makes
social media
Makes
for your own thing.
Invite
Oh,
only.
okay.
Well,
Boom.
not invite only, but you know.
But Keith,
Keith,
if you don't listen to me about nothing else in your life,
come on. Tell 'em.
Patreon.
that Paw Patrol seat gonna be made out of gold.
It's gonna be real dogs sitting there holding you up, waiting. Trained
I'm here for
canine.
the game.
Some of my Patreon people have been supporting since that picture in there. My boys are 4 and
Yes.
6.
Yeah.
Like when JoJo was on camera at first, you couldn't even understand a word he was saying.
Mhm.
He was like, I don't know, bitch, don't make that bad to be. And
That's
now
my
he's on
2-year-old
camera
right
like,
now.
yeah.
That's Carter right now.
And that's now he's like, yeah, father soul, you know what I'm saying? I want you to win double.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people are like, oh my, like they literally watch him grow up
Right.
on YouTube and stuff. So
That's how people are with my 2-year-old.
absolutely.
Oh, that cute
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
That's the
That
95.
cute
Kid.
baby.
She's still speaking like Sims. It's like Simish. Yeah, it's
Bro,
getting there.
That's
It's
how
getting better.
JoJo was.
It's getting
We
better.
took him to speech therapy, and the
I
lady
bet-
was
I got her in
like,
speech
girl,
therapy.
he's fine. We're like, did you
Same,
hear that?
same.
I said the same thing. It's okay.
I want to check her credentials. She was like, yeah. She passed with flying colors. I said, what flying colors? What colors
Talking
are you
about?
looking at? Yeah.
This baby can't say nothing good.
Her speech is really well. It's just like you said, it's very her own language.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's
and,
how Joe used
and
to
she's
be.
really, I think what made her pass is that she's really big on comprehending. I think
Mm.
what it is because she's been on social media since she was born.
Mhm.
So it's like she understands, like if I say, hey, go pick this up and take it in the trash and go give it to your mama, she immediately goes and do
Yeah,
everything. So
yeah.
she's really big with comprehension. It's just when she go to repeat something,
I don't
The intelligibility goes down. You're like, I don't know what you just said.
Thanks. But it's also learning how to be patient as a new parent. 'Cause
Absolutely.
She's my
You
first daughter.
are a new parent.
Yeah,
Very
You
new.
still
Very
new.
new.
You
I
said
just turned
2 and 5
26.
months?
just
Yeah,
turned
I know.
26.
I saw. I
Yeah.
said this baby.
Yeah. And I got a 2-year-old and a 5-month-old. Yeah, I'm new.
Him
I'm
and his
fresh.
wife look
I'm
new.
fresh.
They look
Yeah.
like they was just left homecoming. What is y'all doing out here chasing
They
dollars
look
when you got the
new.
homecoming?
Yeah,
They
we
still
fresh.
got the receipt
Yeah,
for them.
we-
They are such
We
a
still
new.
wet behind the ears.
Oh my
we still wet behind
gosh.
the ears.
Y'all are so cute. But them babies,
Oh,
Riley
man.
and Carter, all they edible. I wanted to be like, ask him if he'll bring the baby. Because I've been
Oh,
in
not
hell
Carter.
them
Y'all
babies.
wouldn't have a studio when I was young. Carter is a Tasmanian devil.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That's
That
amazing.
2-year-old energy is different.
Mm-hmm.
It is different.
Wait till you get to 3.
Man, I can only imagine.
Oh
It's
man,
2 is just a
Y'all
nice
having more?
little
You want more?
preview.
I think I'm done.
that's good. 2 is
I
good.
believe
Don't be
God.
like Angel.
Don't you talk about me.
Angel went from 1 to 3 to 4.
See, look, I believe in God, but with that being said, if I got any say so, I think I'm down.
Yeah, I'm good. I
But
was
again,
good.
it's all in the Lord's hand. If it's meant to be, as long as they're healthy. That's all
Yeah,
I care about.
that's all. I used
That's
to say
all.
that, but I meant only 1
But
or 2
I
boys.
think I think I'm. If you asking me, yeah, I think I'm finito. Yeah, for sure.
You feeling good, Josh?
I think
Josh
so. I'll just wait for
I think
him.
I'm good now.
Oh, you gonna live in the wide completely?
Mhm.
Yeah, he said it
I thought
wasn't.
you didn't
It
want-
was.
No, you're good. I like that.
I'll eat it afterwards. I'm good for now.
All right, cool.
Let me see if I could.
Oh wait. Make sure to just pull this mic up to you, Keith. When you
For sure.
talk. I'll take it aside.
Y'all messing with the wrong person. I sit here and eat all day.
Right here.
I'm an eater. You can take this. The trash.
Thank you,
See
sir.
what
You want to try the croissant?
Nah,
Yeah,
At the end.
let me try a piece.
the croissant.
Yes.
Is it that good?
It better
Okay,
be
I'll
as
wait.
you say,
10 out of
'cause I
10.
just had
We'll shoot
Martha.
content with that.
Huh?
We'll shoot content with that then. If it's that good.
It's that good.
I think you
With it?
should.
We should
Yeah,
shoot
we should
content. We should shoot a
content
piece
And
after
now,
we're done.
if
Cool.
Keith say it's it gets
I
a
can put my
3,
bag
you
over
gonna be
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's vibey in this little camera.
Josh, you dark over there.
Let's do it.
I don't know. This is new a lot. This is new lighting. I don't
This
know.
is all
There's,
new.
I don't know what you can turn to you. Put
You gonna open the
a
aperture?
put an Instagram light up. I'm not Instagram, an iPhone light.
Come on, Josh. I know you can do it. There we go, Josher.
Somebody
Yeah.
said, "Come on, Joshy Cam."
Mm-hmm.
What we
Joshy
talking about,
Cam is crazy.
Joshy?
Give me
Yeah.
like 2 bands of ISO.
There
Two
you
bands
go.
of
You gonna
ISO.
be a
What that
little brainy.
mean? I don't know.
I was hoping you knew because I didn't know.
No, man.
A little better.
I trust Joshy. Now
Yeah,
set him
no,
into
that's not
focus.
bad. That's not bad.
All right,
Yeah. Okay,
This is
get
the
ready.
first podcast I've ever done since I started like actually
Really?
getting notoriety.
This is great. We're
Very
gonna talk
personal.
about it all.
Very
Oh,
personal.
we are
Yeah,
excited.
yeah, yeah.
All right,
I
here
don't
we
know
go.
if you know I open
Let's
it,
do
so I just apologize in advance.
Do your
So
thing. Do your
okay.
thing.
Are
Look,
you ready?
y'all got these tall ass chairs. My feet dangling.
And 5, 4, 3, 2. What up, y'all? Welcome to Here's the Thing. I'm Kevin on stage. She's
That chick angel.
welcome to another podcast episode.
Banger,
Smash
banger,
that like
banger,
button, smash
banger,
that notification
banger,
button.
banger,
Bang, 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 bang,
banger,
bang. 123. We
Yeah,
have a special guest,
the
friend of the pod, the people's champ,
Hey.
Keith Lee. Bang, 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 bang.
Give him a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
It is no way.
10
It is
out of
no way
10.
y'all do that every time.
We absolutely
Every time.
Every
It
time.
initially
absolutely
started
do
from
that.
us trolling. All the YouTubers are doing it, but now
We do
our
it
people don't let us do
every
it.
We
time.
That is
without
do it
hilarious.
every
That is
bangers,
hilarious.
bangers, bangers.
So
It's like
when
3
I
years
see that
old
and
now.
repeat, it's just me standing there like.
He's like, wait a minute. Is this their prayer before they say?
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited. We have
honored.
the People's
I'm
Champ,
honored.
Keith Lee. The reason I call him the People's Champ,
Mm.
much like Tabitha Brown in 2020,
Mhm.
the entire diaspora and beyond
Oh, yeah.
has fell in love with Keith Lee.
Those are high
Okay.
accolades.
Oh,
Shout
my,
out to
I
Auntie
remember
Tab. Those
Tab
are
blowing
high
up,
accolades.
and I was
High
like,
accolades.
this woman has, she had
She
disabled
was
children.
everywhere.
Oh.
She was
Black mother.
everywhere.
When I saw this
She still
disabled
is.
white girl say, she was like, have a good day. I said, now, Tab.
Now you
done made it.
listen,
Yes.
You done made it.
Small
That's the
white
threshold. That's the threshold.
That's the trap. That's the threshold.
No, well, Keith was
That's
like, I'll
hilarious.
get the old white man. That's what I
Listen.
knew too.
That is
Keith
hilarious.
went and I listen. We've been following obviously for a while. You know,
Mm.
I be up on stuff.
Mm.
When we were gonna talk about all this, but I knew that people loved you.
Mm.
But when that lady did what that lady did, I saw
Oh,
black
yeah,
people
yes,
all
yes,
up.
yes.
Now I know what
Yes.
they ain't gonna do is mess with my
Yeah,
Keith.
yeah,
Keith
yeah.
don't bother nobody. He
Listen,
sit there, he eat his food in his Paw Patrol.
You know what I
He
felt
said
like?
10 out of 10.
I felt like the super smart kid in the back of the class to help everybody with their homework. I swear I did.
they're
I
like,
swear I
you
did.
ain't
They were
gonna
like,
be
you ain't
talking
gonna mess with him.
Hey,
You can mess with
Nah,
anybody else
come
in here, but
cool,
you ain't
man.
gonna mess. I love that. I loved it. I
so
loved every
we
bit
are
of it.
gonna talk to Keith about the Keith Lee
I'm
story.
honored.
right?
I'm honored.
If you don't know Keith Lee, he has 10 at this moment,
Mhm.
10 million
a little over 10 million.
followers
10
on
and a half of that thing.
Who's counting? Right?
Yeah, who's counting?
10.5.
Right.
What's
on
right.
TikTok,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Which, and I only say that because on TikTok, people will see all your videos without following you.
Yeah.
Facts.
But 10 million
Facts.
people click the button
I
Mm.
clicked it.
on Keith
God is
Lee.
amazing.
God is amazing,
is
and I
amazing
know him
at
for
all
myself.
times.
Yeah,
Hey, hallelujah.
and he is a
Mhm.
humongous creator on TikTok,
Mm.
mostly known for food reviews
Mhm.
and being a loving father.
Talk that talk,
And
kid.
husband.
Married to a
Talk
black
that talk,
woman.
kid.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Shout
am.
out to that because you know
Yes, I
Shout
am.
out to
Very
Ronnie.
gladly.
black
Very
children,
proud.
regular
Very proud.
black,
Very proud. Regular black.
regular
Regular black. That's a fact. Say
You
that
know,
louder. Regular
so-
black. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we'll start at the beginning, right? Before Keith Lee was known as Keith Lee,
Yes.
the
Yes.
creator. There was Keith Lee, the fighter. Let's go
Mhm.
all the way back to you from Detroit.
I'm so honored. Look, I just want to start that. So I like I said before we on camera, this is the first podcast I've done since I've got this notoriety. I've
Mm,
done podcasts as a fighter or as like an athlete,
mhm.
but never to where I've been able to tell my story and actually
Yeah.
tell like where I started and like I've been watching you for years, so this is crazy. I've been watching y'all for years, so
This is so crazy because we was talking about
it.
this on the pod, and Angel was like, "Yeah, go and get Keith. He already knows you."
I
And
know,
was
I
like,
surely did.
"Keith, you going on to Mr. Beast?" And the
my
stage crew was
dad
like,
called me after you said that, and my dad was like, "You know that dude you used to watch on YouTube all the time?" I said, "Which one?" He said, "The bald one." I said, "Oh yeah, you talking about Kev?" He said, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah." He said, "You way too big to be on a podcast." I was like, "I'm calling Kev the same day." I literally DM'd you the exact same day. And you popped up. It's crazy because as soon as he told me that, you popped up on my For You page with a video basically telling me, giving me advice.
Yeah, TikTok.
On
Like,
TikTok, he popped up and gave me advice.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Keep
It was
your
like
head
literally
up.
like an hour. But I wouldn't even say it was like 30 minutes after my dad
saw that
said,
clip.
I saw the clip on TikTok on my For You page.
Come on.
That's wild.
And I literally DM'd him right afterwards and was like, bro, I just saw this clip. My dad just told me to reach out to you. God is amazing. Don't make no mistake.
We know you love us.
So Kevin Fletcher, again, listen to me.
You right.
Because you tried to say, I said, no, you going to talk to the Keith Lee.
He was hyping me up like I was Obama or somebody.
I mean,
He talking about he way too big to be on. I said, ain't no way.
He was like, he's with Mr. Beast. I said,
and you Kev on stage.
You know what? Sometimes I forget.
Same.
Sometimes
I was telling you the same thing. Same. Even when you were speaking of accolades, I was like, I just eat food.
Right.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You listen, you change your lives.
Listen. So let's go back before all that. Before all that. I didn't know you were from Detroit until your video from this week. You said Joy Road, and that's even though I didn't live in Detroit. I know Joy Road. CP always talking about Joy Road. Like people from Detroit always mention Joy Road. Keisha,
shout out to
CP. So take us back to baby Keith. What was it like growing up in Detroit, Michigan?
So I've had a very supportive lifestyle my entire life. I have both parents, my mom and dad. I have 3 siblings. It's me. I'm the middle. I have a younger brother named Cameron, an older brother named Kevin, and then a sister named Irma. We are all born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I was born in Southfield, which is like kind of a suburb outside of Michigan. Well, it used to be a suburb, but now it's like a extension of Detroit.
Yeah.
Like if you're not from there, you just say I'm from Detroit, basically.
Yep.
So I was raised in Southfield for 4 years. And then my dad got laid off or he got fired or one of those things happened.
Yep.
I was a kid, so I really know the extent. Right. But then we moved to Detroit, and Detroit is like the inner city, like Detroit. Moved on 7 Mile and Evergreen, which is like the game, the party. It's deep. But I say I've always had a supportive lifestyle because my parents have always been very strict on us. We lived in the hood, but I ain't live in the hood. I wasn't going outside. I wasn't playing. When I did, it was very like supervised. You in the house by 8 o'clock. You got to be with one of your brothers. You never by yourself. So I didn't really experience I didn't know how broke we was. Like I didn't experience that. I didn't understand that until I got older and I became an adult. And I was like, oh, I was broke. It was like one of those. But yeah, so I was born and raised in Detroit. We moved to 7 Mile Evergreen when I was about 4 or 5. I went to school there. I went to a school named Emerson. No, let me back up. I went to school named Kennedy, which is in Southfield. I got kicked out of school because I was a terrible kid.
Were you?
Terrible.
What was you doing?
I got kicked out of 6 schools. But the first school I got kicked out of. So I've always had a problem with authority. I don't listen to authority well because I don't like people telling me what to do without telling me why I'm doing what you're telling me to do.
That's fair.
I've always been big on communication. Even as a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, I've always been huge on. I was that 6-year-old that would ask you 1,000 questions.
Right.
Like, why are you telling me to pick that up?
Are you an Aquarius?
I'm a Libra.
A Libra. See, I don't know nothing about I don't know why I even
Libra.
asked. Like, I know things about stuff. Go ahead, Keith. Sorry.
Confident. You sounded confident.
Well, you an Aquarius. What they be doing? He's like a Libra. I don't even know what that is. Go ahead, baby.
No, so I always had a big problem with authority. So teachers would tell me to do things and they wouldn't explain why I was doing them. Yeah. So it always came off immediately as disruptive or disrespectful. Because, when you tell an adult, explain why you telling me what to do as a first grader or a second grader, you like, this badass little kid. You don't get this badass little kid away from me. Right. That's kind of how it was. So I got kicked out of school at Kennedy because I got into a fight with a security guard. He was kind of like a park liaison. I think that's what you call it. Liaison. Liaison. He was basically telling me I couldn't go to recess for some reason. I don't remember why, but I do remember that I put my hands on him and I immediately got kicked out of school.
Okay.
You said 6th grade?
This was in the 4th grade.
He was a child.
This was in the 4th grade.
Oh,
I
wow.
was a kid. Yeah, I was an adolescent.
You can't go outside.
Yeah,
Well,
It was
it's me and you now, buddy.
We not
I
in.
was-
We buck in. We ready to fight. Yeah.
Again, I was very set in my ways. I
Yeah.
knew because I'm sure I asked him, why can't I go outside?
Yeah.
And he didn't tell me. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going outside, whether you want me to or not. And I attempted to go outside. He put his hands on me. I put my hands on him. And mind you, I want to paint the scene. I was 40 pounds.
Clear name.
Yeah.
Clear name.
I've always been a very small kid. So I
Yeah.
was smaller than the rest of the kids in my, and I think that's probably where it stems from too. Because I've always been a very small child.
Yeah.
So I've always thought that I had to show a dominance or show like I had a small person complex. I
Yeah,
always
yeah,
had to
yeah.
show like a dominance or like that I was here basically. So I'm sure
They
he
said
put his
you ain't
hands
here
on
no
me.
more.
Yeah, exactly. And he kicked me out immediately. So I'm sure he put his hands on me. I put my hands back on him. I went to the principal office, got into it with the principal. My mom called. My mom came down and she was like, "Oh, that's Keith being Keith again."
Wait a
So
second.
yeah,
Go to the
I was
principal.
bad,
And
bro.
you get it too,
Yes,
principal.
and that is not an
Anybody can get with Keith
exaggeration.
Lee.
That is not an exaggeration or me trying to sound tough. Because again, I was small. I wasn't gonna do nothing to nobody.
Right,
I was
right.
just all bark. I was nobody. I was all bark. I wasn't gonna harm nobody. I wasn't gonna actually physically harm nobody. I just sounded like I would.
Uh-huh.
So I got kicked out of there. I went to a school named Emerson. Emerson is on 7 Mile Evergreen, the hood.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was hood until I got to the hood. And then again, I told you I've been very like structured. I didn't realize that until I got around unstructured kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this different.
No.
I was like, oh, this different. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not one of y'all.
right.
I don't belong. I was like, I don't belong at all.
Excuse me.
So I tried to fit in and it didn't work. I got kicked out within like the first 2 weeks of being there
Wow.
immediately.
Fully expelled?
Expelled.
He went
so
through
I-
a revolving door.
So with the Southfield school, I got expelled of all Southfield schools. I couldn't go back to a public Southfield school.
Wow.
So I went to Detroit school, and then I was there for like 2 weeks. Quick story. I got jumped. It was field day.
I was about to say,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it the liaison?
It was
Did he
field
come?
day. Like, it was field day. I've never told this story. I used to want to be an Instagram comedian. So I told the story on Instagram back in like 2015.
Okay.
But you're the first person to get like this story. So
all right.
so it was field day. And I'm bad with sugar. I've always been very bad with sugar. I don't do well at all. That's why I don't eat sugar now. That's why I don't eat super sweets. Because the second I eat it, I'm like a jittery kid. I can't sleep. I can't function. I can't talk right. I get bouncy and jittery. And I was like that as a kid. So I had a bunch of sugar this day. I'm talking about a bunch. Suckers, Jolly Ranchers, anything you can think of. And we was outside and there was 2 playscapes. It was a elementary playscape because this is a hood school. So all of the elementary and middle school together. You got 1 through 8. We all in the same. We got 2 separate buildings, but we all in the same building basically.
Yeah.
So I'm in the 5th grade. So I'm at the little kids playscape. Again, I'm hyped on sugar. I'm bouncing around. I'm like, oh, I gotta pee. So I go to run into school, not realizing, again, I'm so hyped up, not realizing I'm going into the middle school. And I get there, I get in the bathroom, I hear click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. I'm like, what's that noise? What's click clacking? Bust the door open. And mind you, I'm already like almost like exposing myself at this point because I gotta pee real bad.
Yeah.
Open the door, I'm fully exposed at this point, like fully about to go, right? Open the door, all I hear is click, clack, click, clack, click, clack. Walk in the door is 10 kids, way bigger than me, way older than me. Most of them didn't even go to the school. Most of them were like the brothers of the people that were at the school. They in there gambling. I'm talking about gambling hard. It's money everywhere. Money, dice everywhere. Before I realized that it's this many kids there, I'm peeing. Before I realize how many people is there and I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing, I'm fully peeing. Again, I don't do well with sugar, so I'm so jittery and so hyped up that I can't control it, right?
So you just pissing on the floor.
People, floor, money, dice, everything involved. People had like open containers of waters and like beverages. I'm talking about everything. It was popcorn because again, it's field day, so it's like popcorn and all kind of shit. So I'm fully peeing at this point. Before I realized I made a mistake, I'm trying to apologize while I'm still peeing. So I'm like, I'm sorry, my bad, I'm sorry. And the kid is not trying to still fully peeing. So nobody is trying to hear me. Nobody like, oh, this is a kid, he making a mistake. Everybody's just like, we getting peed on. And again, most of these kids don't even go to school. So I'm sure it's like some 17-year-olds, some 16-year-olds, some grown adults. So before I realize it, I'm running out of the bathroom, still fully exposed. Running out of the bathroom. I'm done peeing at this point. I didn't already finish the job.
The tank.
The job has already been done at this point. So I didn't even have time to like really talk to nobody about it or explain myself. I'm just running. So I'm running down the hallway. I get out the door back to the playscape. By this point, I told you it's 11 people in the bathroom. These 11 people have turned into 30 because they done got more people. People that got more people, and they're not explaining the story. They just saying he pissed on us, and the evidence is everywhere. The evidence is on them. It's on the money, so they don't have to explain the story. They just say he pissed on us as I'm running.
Oh no!
I turn around, and mind you, my house is maybe like a 10-minute walk. Right? Because I used to walk to school every morning. My house was a 10-minute walk, and it was a big field because Michigan is all grass, basically. It's a big field that separates my school and my house. So I'm running down this field. At this point, I didn't pass the playscape. I didn't pass all the teachers, all the security guards. Well, we ain't had no security guards. We just had normal people who claimed to be security guards because it's a hood school. I didn't pass all of them. I'm running through the field, and mind you, it was 30 people. I turn around. Now it's the whole school. Everybody. And they screaming. They yelling. Everybody like, get him. Get him right now. And I'm just by myself. I'm just by myself. Mind you, I'm like less than 4 feet tall. I'm 60 pounds. I'm terrified. I don't know what's going on. I'm terrified. I'm running through this field and it just feel like they multiplying. I just remember vividly, it was a girl in a tree and she was like, you about to die. And she was literally looking me in my eyes. It felt like it was slow motion. She was looking me in my eyes and she was like, you about to die. And I told myself, I was like, no, I'm not. I'm making it to the crib. I was like, no matter what, I'm getting to the crib. So my God. I get to the house. I'm banging on the door. My dad opened the door. He see me and he sees 60 people behind me. And he like, what the fuck did you do? Mind you, I got a bad track record. So he don't immediately think I'm the victim. Right. He think I'm assaulted like, somebody. Yeah. Immediately. He immediately think the worst. He think I done broken somebody's house or I done did something. Oh, no. So before he defend me, he on their side. He like, I know you done fucked up. I don't know what you did, but they ain't all wrong. Right. Long story short, he pulled a pistol.
Your dad?
Yes, he did.
Come on.
He did.
That's right, Daddy.
Got in the house, got in there safe, never went back to that school.
Wow.
They never went back to that school.
In the street. So you didn't really get kicked out of the school. You just kind of chose not to go back.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair then.
And then I got to the middle school. So all of the middle schools, elementary schools are attached. Because again, we in a hood. So I got to the middle school, which is Taft. And that's the school I got kicked out of.
Man.
Okay. So I don't know if this is a Michigan thing, but it's sugar and Kool-Aid. You put it in a bag.
Yeah.
You shake it up and you sell it for $5 a bag.
Oh, wow. That's
I used to do that. Yeah, I used to do that. And I had like 30 bags of it. And mind you, I'm in the 6th grade now. So I had like 30 bags of it.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking I'm King Tut. I'm walking through the school. I'm passing it out. Yeah, exactly. I'm passing it out. I'm getting high fives with the $5 bill in my hand. I'm buying people lunch. And yeah, I think I'm him. They end up finding it. They called the full SWAT team damn near kicked me out, made me sit with handcuffs. And I'm yelling at people. They thought I had drugs. Yeah, and this is a hood school, so they immediately assumed the worst. They didn't think like, oh, he just selling Kool-Aid. As I'm trying to tell them, it's just Kool-Aid. But I think everybody with drugs will say it's just until you taste it or until you test it. So they tested it and they still kicked me out.
Oh, this is just cherry.
Yeah, that's basically. But after I put them through all of the hassle to do all of that, because mind you, I'm not peaceful in these handcuffs. I'm not sitting there like crying or I'm yelling at everybody.
Of course.
I want to smoke with everybody.
It's Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I want to smoke with everybody. Yeah, I'm threatening to sue. I'm in the 6th grade. I don't know what suing is.
Right.
I'm threatening to sue. I'm like, everybody getting cases. I'm putting cases on every one of you. Everybody getting cases.
Jake!
Yeah, for real.
Jake! I told you it's just Kool-Aid, Jake!
I was trying to, but by that point, they was like, you can't go to any more Detroit public schools.
Just
so I got kicked out of
here.
Any more public. So I got kicked out of all Detroit public schools, all Southfield public schools. I ended up going to a Southfield charter school, which is called Academy of Southfield.
Please say you made it through.
So
he did not say yes.
So I got suspended a lot, but I did make it to the 8th grade, and then I got kicked out in 8th grade.
You're doing better.
Yeah, I made it. I made it 2 years. The other schools, I made it like a semester. 2 semesters.
You know that LeBron James commercial where he was running and all the kids following him? That was key.
I
Like,
swear.
kids on bikes and
It was
stuff.
like a movie. I vividly remember. I think like I have like trauma from it. I vividly remember running through this field and being like, "Why is there so many people?"
He was being chased by the 300,
And-
the Spartans. Like, I
And
don't
look,
understand.
and we in Detroit, so they taking their shirts off. They
Oh, my
and I'm talking
God.
about big men too. Like these, I'm
Big
I'm
men.
convinced that they not in the same school because these are like, mind you, when you a kid, you think everybody's super tall.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they, in my memory, they was like 6 feet something.
Yeah,
They probably
were.
was like 5'5" or 5'4", but they looked like they was 6 feet to me back then. But yeah, that was definitely a trauma experience. But by the time I
Man.
got to middle school, I got to Academy in Southfield, and again I got kicked out again. But this time was for stealing candy.
This
It's
sugar,
stealing
you
candy.
and sugar.
It's me and sugar don't do well at all.
He pissed
At
on people
all.
because of sugar. He
Yes.
got kicked out because
selling
of
sugar.
Kool-Aid sugar.
Absolutely. And then I was selling sugar, I was eating sugar, and then I was stealing sugar. And
Keith.
all of those led to me getting kicked out
They
of the
calling
school.
you
No
Keith
more.
Lucas. So
But
where
that
did you actually
explains it.
graduate from?
So I've never been to a graduation before.
Really?
Oh.
Elementary, middle school, or high school. Never been to a
They
graduation.
just wouldn't let you do it.
So I got kicked out of 8th grade, like I said, for stealing the candy. And they didn't let me graduate. They just was like, we're going to send you your diploma in the mail and
Right.
you go to high school. So by the time I got to high school, I was a weed head,
Mm.
smoking every day. I'm talking about bad, like
Mhm.
every day. My freshman year, I had a 0.6
Oh,
GPA. I had
Wow.
a 0.6.
that's
Um,
just
I didn't
saying.
know.
See, this
here.
is why I
That's what
wanted
it
to
is.
do this. This is exactly why I wanted
0.6.
to come here and do this, because a lot of people look at me like I'm like this angel or like this. Like I've gotten this way because I believe in God and I trust the journey that I'm on. That's the
Mm.
only reason I'm the way I am, is because I've been through the tribulations, I've been through the hard times, I've been through the journeys, but I learned from them.
Yeah.
I've experienced it.
Because I was assuming you were this calm
No.
person. This is
No.
Keith Lee done pissed and punched.
Yes.
Now I wasn't thinking
that was
piss, but
bad.
I could see a little something underneath.
Well, you were a fighter too, so I
Yes.
mean, like a professional
Mhm.
fighter.
How did you get into that?
So let's
Well, you-
I want
you
to skip
told
around.
you
Let's go
got
to
it for
let's go to
fourth grade.
we still at freshman year.
0.6.
Freshman year.
Yes, we in freshman year.
0.6.
I'm so happy we doing this. I'm so happy we doing this. So for the future, anybody that wants to see this story can just come straight to this podcast or come
Yes.
straight to this interview. I love it. But yeah, so I had a 0.6 in high school. I joined the wrestling team because my older brother Kevin, he wrestled all through high school. So when I was in Academy of Southfield, I would go up to the wrestling team and I would go up to practice and pick him up. And my mom, we only had one car. So my mom would like drop us off and she would like be like an hour late or 30 minutes late. And that time was used for me to go to the wrestling team.
Mm.
And I would like be at the high school running around, and I was like 7th, 8th grade. I would like be running around. I would know the coaches. I would know everybody. So when we ended up going to the same school. So when I got there, it was already like mapped out, like you gonna wrestle. Like you don't really have a choice kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when my grades started to dwindle, this was first semester. So wrestling season starts in November, either October or November. We already had got first report cards by the end.
Yeah.
And that first report card was like a 0.6. So the wrestling coach was like, what are you doing?
Right.
Like my brother graduated with a 3.9, went to
Oh,
college, had
wow.
a scholarship.
Yeah, very similar.
He was like really, really smart. And my sister, on the other hand, she graduated with like a 2 something.
Mm.
So I always like aligned more with my sister, but I was always in the shadow of my brother. So when I got there, I was immediately in the shadow, even though my sister and my brother went to the same high school. But everybody knew me as Kevin's brother because, like I said, I always went to wrestling practice. I was acquainted with everybody. So everybody's like, oh, that's Kevin Lee's little brother. So when they found out my grades were so bad, my wrestling coach pulled me to the side and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't want to wrestle. I want to play basketball, because I played basketball as a kid. But my freshman year, I was 4'9", 4'10", and I was like 106 pounds.
Wow.
And my wrestling coach literally embarrassed me in front of everybody. I'm happy he did it though. But in the moment, I was like, what are you doing? So he took me in the middle of lunch and he was like, what are you doing? I just saw your grades. And I was like, I want to play basketball. I don't want to wrestle. And I tried to walk away from him. And he grabbed me by my shirt collar and he took me into the gym where they were doing basketball tryouts. It was like PE. They were doing PE, but the basketball coach was there. And he was like, hey, I got somebody for you. And he threw me in the gym. And he was like, he wants to play basketball. And the coach looked me up and down and he was like, why are you in this gym playing with me? And I was like, damn. Ego was crushed. Ego was crushed.
Dang.
So immediately, again, I'm a kid with anger management issues. I'm very violent at this point. Really don't know how to control myself. And I'm basically like cussing at him. I'm like, bro, what do you mean? Like, I'm just as tall as anybody else on the team. And I looked at everybody else on the team. I was not just as tall as anybody on the team at all. So it was justified. So in anger, I went to the wrestling practice just to show him, like, all right, well, how about this? Since you want to embarrass me in front of everybody, I'm gonna come to the wrestling practice and just beat the hell out of anybody who's in my weight class, which I did. Because again, I was a very anger-driven, but I was talented. I was a very anger-driven, talented kid. But again, I've been doing it since I was in the 7th grade, and most of those kids started in the 9th grade. So when I got there, it was more out of spite. It was more out of arrogance. It was more out of just like, now I'm approved to you, I can do it, and I don't even want to do it. I'm gonna just do it because you told me I can't do something else. So I'm gonna just do it just to shit on you, basically. So I ended up doing it, beating the hell out of the kid that was there. He was a senior.
Yeah, nothing to do with this.
Beating the hell out of the kid.
He's like,
He was just going
beating the hell out, basically.
Leave me alone.
Basically, end up going out. I performed spectacularly, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it. It was one of those things that really, honestly, it saved my life. It saved me from going down that path, because it was like, it was one of the, I'm getting choked up, my bad. But it was one of those things that
we cry here.
That's fine.
We cry here. We feel them feelings.
As soon as I said that sentence, it kind of like,
Kevin's a big crier. Go ahead.
Just don't play Godspeed by Frank Ocean. It's over for me.
But yeah, so it was one of the things where I like fell in love with it. I didn't understand that I was in love with it until I got to like maybe sophomore year. So my freshman year, I did really well. I ended up going to counties, which is like big for a freshman. I ended up going to regionals, and I did really well. So my grades were still terrible. They were still like piss poor. But going into my sophomore year, he was like, you got to get your grades up or you're not going to wrestle. So it was one of those things where I was like, well, I'm not going to wrestle. I quit, and I was done. Even though, again, I had a spectacular freshman year. I did really well. I did more than my brother did. And at that point, that was like the catalyst. That's where I was. That was like where I was trying to reach. Like, as long as I beat him, I don't care about nobody else. As long as I do better than he did, that's all I care about. But going into my sophomore year, I quit, and me and my parents' relationship, me and my dad specifically, our relationship was on the rocks bad. I didn't listen well. He would tell me to do things, and I was like, kiss my ass, basically. He would come and get me from before I quit, he would come get me from wrestling practice, and I would be up there lollygagging, playing, and he just got off an 8-hour shift, 10-hour shift. So he was like, bro, get in the car. It's 8 p.m. in the afternoon. You got homework to do. I wasn't doing no homework, but you got homework to do. You got stuff to do at home. You got to get in the car. And I would we'd just go back and forth. Like immediately. I was like, I ain't get in the car. I'm with my friends. You embarrassing me, playing that card, basically. So long story short, I ended up getting kicked out of my house. I ended up living with my god brother, whose name is Josh.
Great name.
Well, as soon as you said Joshy, that's why I was laughing when you said Joshy, because that's what I call him. He's my god brother because he was my brother's best friend in high school. So my brother is 4 years older than me. So as soon as I came in high school, they both left. So I've been knowing him since I was like 8 or 9. But he was my brother's best friend. So I basically got kicked out. He wrestled too. So I basically got kicked out, and I was like, Josh, I need somewhere to stay. And he was like, move in immediately. Like, he would pick me up from practice. He would take me to practice. And when he found out I quit, he was like, you got to get your shit together. And I was like, fuck you. Basically.
I always think
you always think it's gonna be positive. It ain't there yet. It don't get
I'll leave
positive.
this house right now.
It don't get positive until I graduate. But all through high school, I was terrible. But yeah,
we keep giving you chance after chance.
You know what? I will. No,
it don't get there yet. It don't get there yet.
Back to like, you got to get your grades up so I can wrestle. I'll just never wrestle again.
I'm saying it to let you know how persistent I am. How firm I am and what I believe in. And I think that's why I am the way I am now. But it makes way more sense when I tell the backstory. And I love that I'm doing this because I've never done this before. So I'm just relishing in the moment, by the way.
Get in it.
But yeah, so I quit. He was like, you got to get your grades up, this, that, and third. I didn't listen to him. And he was like, you can stay with me, but under only circumstances that, because he has a brother my age as well, too. His name is Jonah. So he was like, only circumstance is that you and Jonah wrestle at home together, and I don't care if y'all actually wrestle in school, as long as y'all wrestle with each other and like basically build like a camaraderie, like a brotherhood. And I was like, all right, I can do that. That ended up turning into me really loving wrestling. So I ended up going back. Short story. So this Josh is gonna love this that I'm even telling this story. So I went back to practice. The first day I went back, we have headgears. Headgears are like a thing that protects your ears from getting like that cauliflower. So we had headgears, and I had just bought a brand new headgear. It was like one of the ones. So it's like kind of like the Kobe's of basketball.
Got it.
Where you see like somebody with certain shoes on, and you like, oh, he can really play. It was a headgear, and it was basically like a I forgot the name of it, but it was like Cliff King. Cliff King headgear, and it was super nice. It was the colors of my school. It was blue and gray. So I was styling everybody. He had a chin cup. I was like legit. Like so I had just bought that. And mind you, first day back in practice, my coach is like, "Why are you here?" Basically. But my brothers are so close to my coach that he was like, "Please let him back on the team." I come in super arrogant, super cocky. Brand new headgear, brand new shoes. I was one of them. I was a brand new shoes, brand new everything.
Drip for sale.
Yeah, for real. And so I walk in and I'm like super arrogant. I'm like chest up in the air, chin up in the air. And my coach is basically like, get this asshole out of here. And I'm not listening to nobody. I take my headgear off in the middle of the practice, which is a no-no. You're not supposed to ever take your headgear off. You're not ever supposed to put hands on your hips or hands on your knees. Basically, it shows weakness to your opponent when you're wrestling. So it shows emotion. And one of the things in wrestling is you never want to show your opponent that you're either getting tired, getting frustrated, because they'll use that to their advantage. So I did that in practice. Again, I'm not listening to nobody. My coach immediately grabs my headgear and he throws it on the opposite side of the gym. And he was like, "You can't touch that anymore. That's mine now." And I was like, "Who? What headgear is yours?" I was like, "That's my headgear. I just got that. What are you talking about?"
Right.
And he was like, "You can't have that. It's mine since you want to take it off." And he was like, "The only way that you can stay on this team is if you practice without it." And in wrestling, like I said, cauliflower ear, you're not supposed to ever practice with it. I was like, not even that. I'm making an excuse now. I wanted my goddamn headgear.
Right.
So
Right.
I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm not practicing him."
Right.
I was like, "I quit again." I was like, I guess
day.
first day. I was like,
I
"I'm
don't
gone.
take my headgear.
I'm gone." I literally walked off the mat, grabbed my headgear, walked. So we had stairs that lit up to the restroom. Walked up to the stairs. And both of my brothers were there. Like I said, Josh and Kevin were both there because they were the ones that convinced him to get me back on the team. So they both like coaches. At this point, they in college. They both in college wrestling. So they both are like high standing individuals in the school, basically. I go upstairs and I'm like, "I'm going home right now." And my brother's like, "Bro, we practicing. We not leaving. The only way you leaving is if you leave on your own." I didn't have no car. I'm walking. So nobody thought I was gonna walk. I lived on 7 Mile Evergreen. I went to school in Southfield. Anybody who's not from Michigan. So 7 Mile Evergreen is on 7 Mile and Southfield is on 10 Mile.
Okay.
Miles.
Far.
No.
3
miles.
Literally.
It says 3 miles, but it's really like a 5-6 mile drive.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Wrestling practice is in winter. Okay.
No, you did.
In Michigan.
In Michigan.
Michigan weather.
In Michigan. It was storming. So I would say it was 10 degrees. 10 degrees in a blizzard.
You
10
talking about
degrees
persistent.
in a blizzard.
This is the story of saying I walked in the snow uphill both ways, but you
Literally.
actually did.
Right.
6 miles. And I'm guesstimating 6 miles. I feel like it was way longer than that.
Oh,
It took-
it probably
my
felt
God.
like
It was way longer
40
than that.
nights.
So nobody thought I was gonna do that. Nobody. Like I literally was packing my stuff up and everybody was still practicing. And they was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I'm going home." This was in 2014. So we didn't have no Ubers, Lyfts, or nothing. I didn't even have a phone. I think I had like one of those black and white Metro phones.
Yeah.
I didn't have no phone. So they was like, "I know you're not going nowhere. What are you talking about?" Grab my bag. I saw my brother and I'm like, "Hey, you gonna give me a ride?" He was like, "No." I said, "Bet." Walked out the door, got to marching. I have on shorts.
Oh my.
I have on shorts. I have on moccasins. Moccasins are those like furry slipper things
Yeah.
But
from
they're
Payless.
leather on the
with the leather on the outside, with a pleather on the
yeah,
outside,
yeah.
fur on the inside, but they were from Payless. So they were like
Those were hot. then,
paper
too.
thin. They were,
Oh
bro,
man,
everybody had a
I
pair.
had some mocks.
Everybody had a pair, but they were paper thin. I got shorts on. I think I had like a thin t-shirt, like thin, like wrestling t-shirt, like the one they give you.
No.
I'm mobbing it. I'm talking about walking with an attitude. I'm like anybody. I want somebody to mess with me.
That
I'm
rage will
ready to-
keep you
I'm-
warm.
Really
Bro, I'm steaming. Like you can see the steam coming off my head. I'm
Oh
still
my
sweating because mind you, I
God.
was just practicing. I'm still sweating. I got $1.25 in my pocket. I'm walking. I'm like getting exhausted. I get halfway there and I'm exhausted.
Now the
It's
cold starts to go
freezing.
cold.
Yeah.
It was freezing. Cause I'm talking, I couldn't feel anything. It was
Feet are
a
wet
gas
and
station.
cold.
Everything, bro. I'm talking about numb. It was a gas station I'm walking past. I got this dollar in my pocket. I grabbed 2 what are they called? Lemon heads.
Yeah.
2 lemon again, sugar.
Oh
I
man,
grabbed 2 lemon head packets,
You
right?
Get these little croissants.
I grabbed 2 lemon head
Oh, no.
packets, and I grabbed a bag of Funyuns. I'll never forget it. I grabbed a bag of Funyuns, and I'm walking down 8 Mile, and I'm on 8 Mile. I'm on 8 Mile, the hood. I'm in the hood, and I'm shaking these fucking lemon heads, and I'm like, I want somebody to walk up. Yeah, I dare somebody. and people just driving past like, who the fuck is he? What is he doing? Long story short, I'm hyped up. So at this point, I got the sugar. So I'm then there running home. I get to the house. It took me 4 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours in the freezing cold. I get to the house. We have a space heater, right?
Practice.
He really did it.
This is over.
He really walked the whole way.
Gone. I'm talking about to the crib. Look, so we got a space heater, right? It's like an old school. You plug in the wall and it's exposed. You're not supposed to touch it.
Yeah.
I put a like a towel down. I laid on it and went to sleep because I was so exhausted. My brothers got home. Again, it's the sugar that's allowing me not to feel this pain and the fact that it's freezing cold. Because if I didn't have sugar is like crack to me. So like the sugar allowed me to walk home and not feel how cold I was, and allowed me to lay on this heater and not feel how cold I was.
I don't know about these croissants anymore,
Man.
That's why
I'm way better with sugar now, but as a kid, I was terrible. I had no regulating center. I had no regulating center. But so I lay on this heater and I'm knocked out. My brothers come home like 2 hours later and they like, he really fucking walked home. He really did it. I'm then they're like hypothermic and they like, he really walked home. They pulled me off the heater and I'm like burnt from like here to my feet. I'm completely burnt to the side. And my parents, they try to explain to my parents what happened. And my parents like, bro, he didn't fucking walk home. You're not a liar. And I go up in my room, close the door. I don't explain shit to nobody. I'm burnt up. I'm freezing still.
Oh my God.
I'm sick. I got sick for like a week. Long story short, I end up going back to practice because I apologized because I wanted to be on the team. I got kicked off again, but I apologized, and we were semi cool for a little bit, but then I got kicked off again. And that time, the second time I got kicked off was a turning point in my life. It was like, okay, what you about to do?
Right.
Oh,
Like
okay.
people were starting to quit on me. People
Okay.
were, yeah.
Okay.
So look, so at this point, everybody was starting to quit on me. My brother had just went to college. He wasn't talking to me no more because he like, I didn't see what you can do.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to do something positive. I see what you do.
Yeah.
You gonna ruin everything for me. He was at Grand Valley State, which is a really big school in Michigan. And he was like, I see that you are very detrimental. So I have to separate myself. And I didn't know how to take that.
Yeah.
It was really hard for me to take that. My parents were basically like accepting that I was just a fuck up. And I hated that. Like I hated that
That's
feeling
so
because
sad.
again, Kevin in school, he doing amazing. He on the wrestling team. And I just kept putting myself in his shadow, or everybody around me was putting me in the shadow.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is the time where I really start getting my shit together. But then that's when my life started. Life was showing me like, okay, you say you want to get your shit together, but now we about to put you through the hardest thing you've ever been through and see if you can really take it.
Yeah.
My dad went to jail. Long story short, some kids was messing with us. They stole a bike. My dad saw that they stole a bike, and we went down there and all mayhem broke loose.
Yeah.
Mayhem broke loose. Guns got involved. My dad a thug. Well, he a retired thug, but yeah, he don't play about his family. He don't play about his family at all. Guns got involved and all of that. We end up getting evicted right after my dad went to jail because he was the one paying the bills.
Yeah.
We got evicted. We ended up staying in my mom's best friend's old house. She had a house that she like had just, we thought she bought it, but it was really just like empty. Basically, it was an abandoned house. So it was me, my mom, and my younger brother. We're staying in this abandoned house. My dad's in prison, or he's in jail at this time, and then my brother's in college. So I'm like, at this point, I wasn't really spiritual. I didn't believe in anything because I'm like, there's no way you can tell me that something is real or something's gonna help me when I'm in the worst position I've ever been in and I'm trying to do right.
Yeah.
And I was like, while I was doing wrong, we were living in a nice house. My brother was still talking to me. My dad was still there. I was like, I was doing everything wrong, but things were still going right. The second I tried to do right, everything went out the window.
Yeah.
We were eating Checkers. You know what Checkers is, right? Rallies?
Like
They had a
Rallies.
popcorn box. They had a popcorn box for $1.99, and my mama would buy one popcorn box for everybody for the whole day. That's all we would eat.
Oh wow.
And again, I'm still in the 10th grade, so I still gotta go to school. I'm still going to practice. I'm getting my grades better. I'm actually focusing. So that happened all through 10th grade. Basically, the dude who was supposed to testify never ended up showing up. So my dad got off.
Oh,
So he got back. We ended up moving into a nicer house, but it was on Joy to Evergreen, which is the hood. We ended up moving there, and I really like turned my shit together. Like I stopped smoking. I stopped hanging out with like the people I was hanging out with, and I really started focusing. The first year I started focusing, I met this guy named Mike Confletti. I'll never forget him. He is a wrestling coach, but he came from a different school. He came from Troy, which is like a white school. So Michigan is very separated.
Yeah.
Michigan is. I went to a school with 98% black people.
Wow.
We had 2 white kids, and they both hung out with each other. No exaggeration. No exaggeration. Yeah. No exaggeration.
I thought you were coming to school today.
No exaggeration. So he came from a school where it was all white kids.
Yeah.
And in Michigan is a very high wrestling school. So we were known as the black school. The black school don't go nowhere. They don't go to states. They don't go to regionals. We never had anybody make it to. We had 2 people make it to states before me, and it was in like the 1990s.
Dang.
So
First of all,
before that,
the 1990s, like it was really
Right.
hurt.
the
my soul.
19th
He's like,
century,
way back in the 1990s.
1900s.
I was like, so when I was in school, I was in high school. Okay.
Yeah, but all the
Keep going, Keith. It's fine.
Yeah, all the way back in
Some of us
1990.
were already in high school in the 1990s.
Right.
But yeah, so it wasn't known for kids from my school to go to states.
Yeah.
But he came in, he changed the complete culture. He saw me and he saw my friend Davion, and he was like, I'm taking y'all to states. That's the first thing he said when he saw us. And I'm like, who you taking who to states? We ain't going to the states with them white folks. Like it was like some old slave boy. I'm like, I can't compete with them white boys.
Right.
But he believed in us. He believed in us. He took us under his wing. We ended up going to Virginia Beach, was like a wrestling camp during the summer. And my entire life changed. I saw things I never saw before. I was hanging out with people I've never thought I would hang out with. And I was like, oh, I can do this.
Yep.
So my senior year, I ended up getting I had a 3.6.
Come on, Keith.
You better go.
I had
on,
a
Keith.
You added 3
Let
holes
your
to that
big
point. 3 fulls to that point.
Yes.
So I had
Man.
So I had a 3.6. I went to states. Because again, he believed in me. I started to believe in me.
Yeah.
I was like, this is something that I can do.
Yeah.
I ended up going to states, and again, my life we was at the Palace Auburn Hills, which is basically like the T-Mobile Arena.
Malice and Palace.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Palace is huge.
Yeah.
The Palace is huge, and I was on the floor. The floor, we was in a parade. I'm looking at my parents in the stage, looking at my brother in the stage. I mean, in a stadium, like the what'd you call it?
The
Stands?
The stands. I say stage, my dumb ass. But
We
yeah,
get-
they
we
was in
get
the
it.
stands. And I just was like, oh, I can actually be somebody.
Yeah.
For the first time in my life, that's I God damn, I'm getting choked down. For the first time in my life, I was like, oh, I can actually be worthy of something. Because
Yeah.
up to that point, I never thought that was like in a reality.
Yeah.
So I went to States, I was 17. Right after that, I tried to commit suicide.
Oh.
Yeah. God damn it, I'm getting choked up.
It's okay.
Feel
Take
them
your
feelings,
time.
So me and my dad, our relationship was still rocky, and it was one of those things where I was like, I've made it. I'm doing everything that you've always wanted me to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm doing well in school. I'm not smoking no more. I'm not hanging out with the people you didn't want me to hang out with. I went to States. I was like, oh, I made it in life.
Yeah.
But he still saw me as like the fuck up Keith.
Right.
Like, I know you're doing well now, but what happens when you're not doing well?
Mhm.
Basically. So we ended up getting into it real bad one day. I went in the backyard. I told the story on TikTok, but I never
We
went
saw.
in detail.
Yeah.
I won't go full detail, but I went in the backyard and I had a bunch of neckties, old neckties that he had like a collection of. And I tied him up. He had like a patio he had built that was attached to the garage. It was like 2 wood planks that went up, and it was a wood plank that went across. I grabbed the cooler. I jumped on top of the cooler, tied the ties up, tied it around my neck, and I jumped off. He walked outside and he thought I was playing. But at this point, I was completely losing oxygen. I was like blacking out. He grabbed me off of the cooler, and he was still mad at me because he thought I was playing. He
Oh
thought
my
I was doing it
God.
for attention. But if it wasn't for him walking out and pushing the cooler back under my feet, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
Yeah, so he took me off the ties, and he started talking to me, and it started to hit him when he saw my eyes, because my eyes were red.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was there at that point.
Yeah.
And he just was basically like telling me he loved me, he appreciated me. I never heard him say those things. God damn it.
Listen, I'm getting emotional
Yeah,
too,
God damn it,
man.
my bad.
Jesus.
I never heard him say those things because I've always, like I said, been a fuck up.
Yeah.
But as an adult, I understand it was because I was a fuck up. It wasn't because he didn't love me or he didn't support me. He was just so tired of seeing me ruin my life for no reason, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a talk that night, and I just was like, I don't want to be here. I was like, I was broken at that point because I didn't have any scholarships, no offers, no nothing. And I ended up like going back in the house and sat in my room. I had like this real like small dark room. It was always dark. I was a depressed kid. It was always dark. I ended up sitting in there, and basically we just talked one night, and I just was like, okay, well, let me try one more time. I was like, I did everything right and wasn't working. You still not believing in me, but let me just try. So I ended up going to school, and I had a scholarship. I ended up going back to high school, and they gave me a scholarship that the next day after this all happened. God makes no mistakes. I went, and it was for a half ride. I thought it was for a full ride, but I ended up finding out it was for a half ride. So they was like, you can go to Indiana Tech for a wrestling scholarship. And I was like, oh, again, I'm making it. It was one of those where it's like, I've always looked at my life as a movie. So everything goes, and like pursuit of happiness is how I always compare it to. So it always goes like, you remember when he first got into the shelter, and it kind of looked like everything was going well. And then the IRS came and took everything out of his bank account, and he was like, fuck. And then he ended up in the subway again. That's kind of like how my life kept going. So like I said, I got the scholarship. My parents came to me, and my mom was like, so backtrack. My brother is already a professional fighter at this point. He's doing extremely well. He got into the UFC he was 10-0. He got into the UFC, and the UFC is big money. It's real big money back then. I think the opening contract is like 10,000 and 10,000. So we ain't never seen no money like that. Right. We ain't never seen no money like that. So he had left college specifically just to fight. So he was living in a gym, and he was just fighting out of the gym, and they ended up getting to the UFC. And he called my parents, was like, hey, I'm in the UFC now. I got some money. I'm going to Las Vegas, and I'm going to train. And he was like, after I map it out and see, I want y'all to come down. I didn't believe none of that. Again, me and my brother not talking at this point. So he communicated through my parents. And I'm like, Kevin about to move us to Vegas. That don't even sound logical. People don't even live in Vegas. They don't like live in Vegas.
There's a strip and people visit
it.
For
real. That's it. That's it. So and I'm an inner city kid in Detroit. I've only been to Virginia Beach, and that's the only place I've ever traveled outside of Detroit.
Wow.
Only place I've ever been to. So,
I can't believe it.
And I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, we ain't moving to fucking Detroit. So this is April 1st of 2014. April 1st of 2014. And what's that? 2 months before graduating? 2 months, 3 months? And smack dab in the middle of my senior year. My parents literally was like, you said you want to go to Vegas. We going to Vegas tonight. And I was like, who going tonight? I said, who going tonight? So they literally packed it. We had a Nissan Altima, 2012 Nissan Altima.
They drove that thing to Vegas.
We packed it up.
From Michigan?
From Michigan.
We
packed it up with everything we could possibly fit in it. And we left everything else in the house.
Oh, wow.
Left everything. Just packed all we had. Everybody had like 3 bags to their names. We packed it up. My mom took me by the school that I was going to, and she told my teachers, like, hey, he's not going to be going here no more. And again, it's April 1st. So this is April Fool's Day. So nobody believes me. I'm going to class, and I'm like picking up all my books from all my classes. And all my friends is like, where you going? I was like, I'm going to Vegas. They're like, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Ain't nobody about to play with you on this April Fool's Day. I grabbed all my stuff. We got in the car, and we drove to Vegas. And I posted on my Snapchat like 2 days later, because it takes like 2 days to get there. Posted on my Snapchat 2 days later that I'm in Vegas, and everybody was like, "Are you for real?"
Really? They were like,
April 3rd, the day's
gone,
over,
bro. It's like the 4th at this point, and he's gone.
A couple days to get there.
We ain't seen him.
Gone. Yeah, it took like 2.5 days driving that, and the Nissan Altima made it. It made it.
Did you say? Wait a minute. Did you say this was 2014?
2014. Yeah.
Don't think about it too much, Angel.
No.
Don't do it, Angel.
I
don't want.
Yeah, we're at all day.
Josh.
Yeah, I graduated in 2014.
Huh?
Yeah. I told you I just turned 26. Yeah. But so I got.
He said, ain't nobody went to States since the 1990s.
I was like,
The late 1900s.
It made me want to pull this thing above my head. I was about to print this right above my head.
When I graduated high school, I had children. I had children.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, this is so good.
Oh
this
my
so
God.
good.
I was pregnant.
I'm hyperventilating right now. He was walking across the stage, and I was changing diapers. Actually, they was out of diapers.
I was like, wait a minute. He said 2014. It ain't even been a decade since this happened.
No, so I get to Vegas. My brother got my parents. So it's my sister. She always had godparents, so she always lived with her godparents. Our godparents were pretty wealthy.
Yeah.
So she always lived in Michigan, or she lived in Chicago. She's 11 years older than me. So
Mhm.
y'all age.
The ages that we
Mhm.
like. No,
So she was in Chicago the whole time.
Got it.
So we get to Vegas and it's a 2-bedroom apartment. And it's in Henderson. Henderson is like kind of like the suburbs.
Yep.
So it's I'm shell shocked. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
My mom came to me the next day, and it's like April 5th. She came to me and she was like, "Do you want to finish school out here?" And I was like, "Let me go to the school first and see," because again, I hated school. So I was like, if I don't have to, I won't. I was like, "Let me go to the school. I'll go to an all-white school." I'm looking around. I'm like, "Oh, I ain't going here."
Right.
And she was like, "You can go here just to finish do prom and go graduation." I said, "No."
You're like, "I don't need no prom here."
I said,
no,
because in my mind, I'm already in college. Because mind you, I got the half ride to Indiana, so I'm already in college.
Yeah.
And in my head,
yeah.
So I'm like, no, I'm done with school. I was like, I'm done with high school. That's for kids. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm done with that. I ain't doing that.
A grown man with a scout shit.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
We off that now.
Yeah. So I didn't go to school. I had to finish school online. So I walk up to a library and I would do all my classes online, and then I would and get my graduation certificate through the mail.
Wow.
So I ended up getting 2 jobs during the summer, because from April to August is how long I was there at first. I ended up working at Jimmy John's, and I worked at Sweet Tomatoes, which is like a soup kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Tomatoes was the worst job I've ever had in my life. And if you are listening to this, y'all need to switch something. Y'all need to change something.
0 out of 10.
It's that fun. Not even that. Not even that.
Like,
not even that.
You ain't on the scale.
It was terrible. The first day they had me picking up soup with my hand out of a boiling pot of water.
For what purpose?
So Sweet Tomatoes is a soup kitchen, and it was a vegetarian soup kitchen. So all they had was soup, breads, and salads, right?
Mm.
So
Like
I don't know if you notice about buffet. It's like a buffet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you notice about buffets. They don't throw anything away. Or maybe that's just sweet tomatoes. Sweet Tomatoes didn't throw nothing away at all.
Soup plantation.
So
That's what I
yeah,
thought,
they
soup
basically
plantation.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what it was. So I was working in a kitchen. I thought that was a good job. I'm like, I ain't got to be. I've always had anxiety, so I was like, I ain't got to be in front of people and talking to nobody. And man, they had me working with some man named Jose. Jose had been there for 12 years. Jose stuck his hand in a boiling pot of soup water. So they had boiling water, and as soon as the shift was done, they would take the soup off of the line, put it in a bag, seal the bag, throw it in the boiling water, take it out the boiling water, put it back in the thing when the line was done, be ready to eat again or whatever. And
I'm in awe.
I'm this is no exaggeration. During like it'd be like a slow down period, or like the soup getting a little low, he would take it out. He would get one of the bags out the walk-in refrigerator, throw it in the boiling water, take it out the boiling water, put it back on the line, and you would just eat it, and it would be like week-old soup. So
it's like a soup deep fryer.
Basically, they just dump it. They just dump the soup, and this is congealed soup. It's like congealed and like so. The first day he goes and he grabbed the soup out of the pot. I'm talking about no gloves, no nothing. He's been there for 12 years, so his fingers done calloused up. He didn't got used to that.
Nothing.
Can't feel none of it. And I'm like, it can't be that hot, right?
It can't possibly be that hot.
It can't be. You just put your hand in there. You just put your hand in there, so I know it's not that hot. I put my finger in there and was like, I quit. I was like, I'm done. I said, yeah, that's not for me. I was like, this is not for me. I kid you not. I finished that shift and I didn't touch another bag of soup that whole shift. I was telling them, like, I'm not doing that. And if you want to fire me, that's cool, but I'm not doing that.
I'm not putting my hands in the hot soup water. I'm not doing it.
Everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. They was like, you gonna talk to the boss like that? You gonna tell him no? And I was like, I'm not putting my hand in the soup.
Little do y'all know I've been doing this since 4th grade.
Little do you know I'm ready to fight already. Like, I'm already in that mindset. I put my finger in there and I was ready to fight. It was over with.
So wait a minute, his hand was going in the water, not the soup.
No, both. He was the soup was in a bag. So he was grabbing the soup with both hands. And mind you, this is on a platform. So he's reaching like this and dipping his fingers in it and just pulling it out and like shaking it like that. So he had his hands on it for a good second. It wasn't like one of those, like, you know how your mama, if she black, she just put her hand in the grease. She just pull something out and throw it real fast. Yeah. It wasn't that. He like
submerged.
He
dropped in.
And then grabbed it and shook it. He was shaking it. So he holding this hot plastic bag. And I'm like, okay. It can't be that bad.
He don't feel nothing on those hands to this day.
Not a single bit. Not a single bit. So yeah, so I finished the shift. I never showed back up. I didn't go back again. I was only there for like a week.
Did you even get your check?
No. They didn't have a check to give me. I was only there for because the 4 days was training.
It's probation.
Right.
yeah.
The first 4 days was training. That was my first live day.
Oh, that was your first actual
Yeah,
day.
yeah. So I was there for a
This
week, but
nigga don't
the
wanna
week
touch
was
you.
like training. I was gone. Oh, I told you, I don't play when I set boundaries. It's a boundary set. I was not playing one bit. So I never showed back up. I ended up working at Jimmy John's, and Jimmy John's was a great job. I loved it. It was super fast paced.
Yeah.
And if you've never been to Jimmy John's, they make sandwiches in 20 seconds,
Yeah.
and
And
it's
they
not
deliver.
a joke. And it's not a joke.
The bread is fresh.
You
too.
have to do a test to get in. Like it's like college.
They don't
to,
make
to see if you can make sandwich fast.
Yes.
they don't make
So-
the bread in 20 minutes. Okay.
No, I'm saying
No.
they make fresh bread.
Oh,
there.
I
They
was
make
gonna
fresh
say,
bread every morning. Yeah, they make
Not,
fresh
not
bread
like
every
Subway, right? It's
I
like
like
they
the
actually.
Chipotle chicken.
No, they actually make the
Jimmy
bread.
John's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
That's
make the bread in
impressive.
there. But
Oh, I'm
sometimes
thinking
they had
crazy,
like
right?
where I was at, they had bread like
Big
sticks.
Jersey Mike's.
They had like frozen sticks that they would just throw in the oven.
Got you.
Got it.
But yeah, you had to like do a full test. So I'm thinking, I'm legit. I passed the test. I'm like top of my class. I'm extremely smart. I'm like, oh, I didn't get it.
Graduated
'Cause
again.
You got to memorize the whole menu. So you got to memorize the whole menu, and you got to memorize it, and you got to know how to say it backwards in order because it's real fast. So the way they do it is while you're ordering, the person that's online is already listening to your order. And they already making an order as you ordering it. So if you say a
Dang.
12 with tomatoes, by the time you say 12, I'm already busting the bread open and getting the stuff for the 12. And then you say tomatoes, I'm already grabbing tomatoes. So by the
Wow.
time you pay your money, my sandwich is done. So the same time that people would hand the money, I'm handing you the sandwich.
I think
it's
that
fresh.
was just y'all to Jimmy John's. The
And
rest
I'm talking about we
slow.
was moving.
Yeah.
That was your thing at the beginning. It's freaky
I'm talking about
fast.
sweating. I'm palm sweaty. And I'm even with delivery, it was like by the time the phone is hung up, the sandwich is already done.
God,
And
hey.
I'm talking about moving. I loved it though. I was in there with a bunch of kids. I was still 17 at the time, 18. So I was in there with a bunch of kids my age.
Yeah, yeah.
I was having the time of my life.
Yeah.
I got fired.
You got fired from that
I
job.
got fired from Jimmy John's.
King!
I was only there for like 3 weeks.
What
Yeah, I was
happened?
only there
It's
for like
the
3
best
weeks.
time of your life for 3 weeks.
I was having a ball. So I 100% got fired. I was switching shifts with people, and because I'm not a morning person, so I
Yeah.
like to close, but they always gave me morning shifts. So I would switch shifts with people, and I would not show up to their shift.
You're
I
just
was
giving
just
chips
I was
away.
just giving shifts away, and I was like, "Oh, I don't work today." And my boss called me one day. My boss called me one day, and he was like, "You coming to work?" I said, "Who coming to work? I don't work today." And he was like, "You right, you don't work today." And I was like, "What that mean?" He was like, "You was on the schedule, but you not no more." I was like, "Okay, so when's the next time I come in?" He was like, "You don't." I said, "I don't, but I'm on the schedule for Wednesday." He said, "No, you're not."
You're like, wait, I didn't quit this time though.
Keith.
He said, I don't go to work today. You right. You don't. nor
I
ever
swear.
again.
I swear, I'm not exaggerating. He was like, "Yeah, you just don't come in. Just don't come back in."
This
So
is why
I hung
TikTok
up the
is for
phone and
you.
I'm just laying in the bed like, I was like, "Did I just get fired?" That was my
Yes.
first time experiencing that. And I was like, "Did that just really happen? I just got fired."
Absolutely.
So again, in my head, I'm already in college, so I don't care.
You're
I'm
like,
leaving the school in a few weeks.
Man.
I'm like, it don't make no difference. I'm going to school. So I get to I leave Vegas and go to Indiana because the school semester started, right? I'm there for 4 days. They called me into the office. So the first 4 days, let me back it up since we're doing a full story. I love it here.
Jesus,
I love it here. So since we're doing a full story, so I don't miss nothing. I'm going to Indiana, but first I got to make a pit stop in Michigan because that's where my friend Davion and me and Davion went to the same school in Indiana.
Mm.
So we both got the scholarship together. So I'm like, oh, this is dope. I haven't seen him since I left in April. Everybody think I'm living this big lavish lifestyle in Vegas when in reality I'm getting fired from Jimmy John's and putting my hand in boiling water. But they don't know that.
Right.
They don't know
They
that.
don't need
They
all
think
that.
I'm rich. Yeah, they think we done
Snapchat
made
looks
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snapchat is crazy. Oh
Right,
yeah, I'm flexing.
Right.
I'm palm trees, rocks, and oh yeah, I'm living it up. I'm taking a Jimmy John shirt off before I post, and you don't know what I'm doing. You think I own a Jimmy John's franchise at this
Right,
point. Like,
right.
so I get back to Michigan, and again, he think I'm set.
Yeah.
So his parent, his stepdad was a cop, and his mom was like a teacher, I think. So his parents had money,
Yeah.
real money.
Yeah.
So I get there, and he's in Southfield. He's in a really nice house. I get there, and we're supposed to go from his house to Indiana. They were gonna drive. They did a full what's the word? Like a full go away party.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
They did a full go away party, fam, and they just like, oh, and that's his friend.
Oh.
And they kind of like was like, oh, Davion, yeah, we so happy you going and you going to school, you making us so proud. Oh, and your friend in the back. And I kind of just like, damn, like
Right.
now the facade is over. They know I ain't rich. They know I ain't got no money because I only came down there with the money I made from Jimmy John's and I saved like $200. So that's all I had to my name.
Dang.
So I get there and I'm just like, damn, I left Vegas for this. Like I'm at this fucking go away party. I'm sitting in the back and I'm embarrassed basically.
Yeah.
So we drove there with all this family. They drop us off and I didn't have a room set up because I had left school so abruptly that I didn't have time to do the full onboarding process.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't do a tour. I didn't set a room up or any of that. So they had a hotel set by the college that was for the kids like me.
Yeah.
But there was no kids there. They're all like 20-year-olds, 26-year-olds, 25-year-olds, people that want to go back to school, basically.
Yep.
So they put me in a hotel room after I had already seen Davion get his like go away party and his parents drove us out there. So we in his dorm and we doing it big. They got all of like the we went to Walmart and got all of the sheets and all of that.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
Yeah.
And they all like hugging him and crying. And I'm just like sitting on the bed and they like, you want us to drop you off at the hotel? And I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
So I go to the hotel by myself.
Dang.
I'm a small kid. I graduated high school. I was like 5'4", 5'3", maybe 120 pounds, 130 pounds. Very tiny.
Yeah.
I'm in Indiana by myself. Don't know nobody except for him and he in his big ass dorm room. They put me in a hotel and I was roomed with this 30-year-old white man.
Oh my God, today.
And I put my bags on the bed and he walked in with his key already because he was there before me. And I thought he was a housekeeper at first. So I was like, oh, no, I don't need nothing. He was like, no, this is my room. He was like, I've been here for 2 weeks. What are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm trying to go to school. And he was like, me too. He looked like he had kids already.
He probably did.
He probably had kids already. So at this point, I don't know where I'm at. And this is not a hotel. This is like a motel, basically. We in Indiana. We in what state was it? We in Indiana. We in the heart of Indiana. I went to Indiana Tech, and it's the hood. Like Indiana, the hood, the country hood. On top of that, it's a country hood. So I'm hating it. I can't fucking stand it.
Yeah.
I go to the dorm with Davion every day after class. I just end up going to his dorm because I don't want to go back to this hotel with this random man. So I'm sleeping on the floor. So I'm sleeping on the floor in his dorm room. But again, I'm living a life.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself. I'm out with friends. We going to parties. We drinking. We smoking. I think I'm grown. My dad called me and he was like, hey, I see you at this party. And before he could finish the sentence, I said, nigga, get off my phone. I'm grown. Hung up the phone. Full blown, hung up the phone. I'm so happy I'm doing this because I'm giving y'all the full story. I'm not missing no details. I've never done this before. I hung up the phone. I'm like, now I'm grown. I don't need you.
Oh Jesus! What $200?
They call me 200. The 200 gone.
I was about to say
200 gone. 200 was gone at Walmart because I felt like I needed to flex. He was buying sheets. I had to buy sheets. He was buying snacks. I had to buy snacks. The 200 gone. 200 been gone. So I'm on a hope and a prayer and just confidence, arrogance. I've always been an arrogant person. I'm an arrogance.
Wow.
Full blown arrogance. I'm snapping on him. I hung up the phone. And
but why?
I don't know.
What did he do to make you say that?
Nothing. He told me not to go to a party.
That's exactly what I did.
That's exactly what I did. I swear that's what I did. He told me not to go to a party or do something. Again, I'm bad with authority. Right. He told me not to do something. And before he could explain himself, I was like, nigga, get off of my phone. I don't owe you anything anymore. I'm grown. And he think, again, I'm not telling him that I'm in a hotel room. I'm not telling him I'm sleeping on the floor. He think I got this dorm and that I'm set, basically, right? So it's only funny because it's 100% true.
My God!
He was going through it. So I think like 2 days after that, they called me to the office, right? And they was like, sir, you didn't sign up for FAFSA. You didn't do any of that. Like you didn't sign no paperwork, no nothing. You just here.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. I thought I'm on a scholarship. I think I'm balling. I'm on a scholarship. Davion on the full. I made it to the States before him. So I'm like, I know he got a scholarship. I'm getting a scholarship. I didn't check no paperwork, no nothing. I just know what he got. I gotta get what he got. So I'm waiting for my dorm room. I'm waiting for the full package. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm about to be. I was like, my dorm room about to be bigger than his. I'm about to have my own bed. Like, I just knew. I'm again arrogance. It's all arrogance. I'm like, oh, I just know.
Where is my stuff at?
I'm just waiting for it.
To States.
4 days. I'm just waiting for it. I'm at this point. I'm irritated with the people. I'm like, nigga,
What's taking y'all so long?
Yeah, what's taking y'all so long? They take me to the office and they like, you don't have no paperwork filled out. Sir.
Who are you?
Yeah, they was like, only thing we have is the offer letter that we sent you.
Right.
So we only got your name and your information from the offer letter. They was like, that's all we know about you. We don't know nothing else.
He treated it like a birthday party invitation. You sent me the invitation.
I just showed up.
That's not
Keith didn't even sign up for real.
No applications, no nothing. Mind you, I was doing at school. I was finishing school on the computer, so I didn't know what to do. I was finishing school, and I thought that was my college application. I didn't fill no college applications out at all. People was going to career day and college day. I wasn't doing none of that. I just showed up, and I thought that's what it was, right?
The paper was like, y'all told me to come here.
That's exactly.
Y'all had the money.
And I was so lost when he told me I had to fill something out that I didn't fill out. So I'm sitting in this man's office, and he like, no, you owe us $20,000 right now, or you got to leave. And I was like,
y'all supposed to be giving me the money.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, what about the scholarship? And he said that scholarship offers $2,000. I said, damn. Look now I'm in this man's office. I think it was Gary, Indiana. I'm in Gary, Indiana.
Oh shit!
And this man, I might be wrong. It was somewhere it was in the country of Indiana. I'm sitting in his office, and I'm just like, oh, this is the part on the movies where you call and you have somebody put a loan out for you. I said, I know somebody gonna give me a loan. I just know it. Called my brother, and he like, a loan? The fuck? I thought you had a scholarship. I thought you was in this big. Didn't you just tell dad to kiss your ass and you hung up on him? And I'm like, forget that, man. Listen to me what I'm saying right now. I'm like, listen to what I'm saying right now out of my mouth. And he was like, no, we ain't. And he was like,
That's
no,
old news, man. What are you talking about? That was days ago. Listen, the situation has changed completely. I now need $18,000
right now, and I'm talking about like immediately.
Hell,
I was like, I need your car.
Indiana.
I was like, tell me your car information over the phone. Like it was that dire. And he was like, no, you're not getting no fucking card information.
Oh my God!
So at the time, I'm like, oh, okay.
Forget what I
so
said.
what?
On Wednesday.
In fact, is that David?
I didn't want him on my phone. I just wanted to email him.
Josh, you beat me to it. So my brother was like, I'm not giving you no loan. And I was like, man, put that on the phone. Put that on the phone. My dad got on the phone. I was like, Dad, I need $18,000. And he was like, what happened to you being grown? Where'd all that go? And I was like, you know what? I'm coming home. The conversation ended there. I walked out that man's office so defeated. I said, oh, this is what adult life is like. So now I got to swallow my pride. I got to call my dad and apologize because now I got to go home. I've only been in college for less than a week.
To break up with
I've only been grown.
The most eventful 4 days in Indiana.
I've only been grown for a week.
Monday to Thursday, your life changed.
Keith was only on the property of college for a week.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to classes too.
What?
None of those classes were scheduled under me. I was going to the classes Davion went to because I thought we had the same scholarship.
He said this class sounds fun. I'm gonna go here.
Keith, you didn't even register.
He said, nigga, where you going?
No, look, I said,
coming.
what class we got? I said, print me off a copy of the schedule so I know where to go. So I don't gotta ask you every time before we go to class. Print me off a copy of the schedule. I went to 6 different classes every day for those 4 days. I was doing homework.
Oh.
I was a student. I was a legit student. I was going to open practices. I was running with the team. I was talking to the coach. I was picking out my locker. I was like, oh, that's going to be mine. I like that one right in the back. I thought I was a Indiana Tech student.
You here?
They didn't even, I was in a hood. They didn't even question me. It was a technical school. So it was like a community college.
Yeah.
They didn't even question me. They was like, I guess.
Here you go.
I was like, he can run. They basically was like, yeah, you can run if you want to. I mean, I don't know why you running.
Oh,
I'm in a cafeteria. I'm everywhere. Like I'm a student. I go here. Yeah. I will show you a picture after this. I have the memorabilia on. It's an orange shirt with
He's after my 200.
Yeah.
Got that memorabilia.
I'm here. Like this is my school. Like, I got Indiana Tech school pride. The mascot was Warrior. I'm a Warrior. I'm sending my dad pictures of me I'm sending my mama pictures of me in a weight room with the shirt on, lifting weights. Oh, I didn't thought I made it. So fast forward to me having to make the call and basically saying like, hey, I'm coming home tomorrow. Book me a flight. And at first my brother didn't want to book me a flight, so he hung up on me. And I called him back like an hour later and I was like, they revoked my hotel room.
Oh my God.
I don't have a hotel room to go to. I was like, I'm homeless. I have to get back to Vegas. And my brother's like, okay, I guess it's serious. I guess I can fly you back.
Jesus.
So he flew me back to Vegas. Again, I thought that's what college was. I was like, oh, I already did a semester. I did a full semester and I ain't like it. I did a week. I did a week and it wasn't my classes. It wasn't for me. So I get there and instead of accepting that I had going about this the whole wrong way, I built this conflated ego that I was mad at everybody else. And I was like, college is stupid. I don't want to go to school no more. I don't want to do that. I'm only leaving on my own accord. And I had really built this up in my head that I was the reason I was leaving. I had built it up that I was only gone because I didn't want to be there.
Oh my God.
So I get back home to Vegas. At this point, I didn't want to call it home because I'm like, I'm from Michigan still, right? So I get back home to Vegas. Davion didn't even care that I was leaving. He just was like, okay.
He was happy to get
like,
you up out of his floor of his room.
He was like, all right, now I can bring girls over, basically.
Oh my God.
So I get back to Vegas, and my brother, he is my youngest brother. He's 4 years younger than me. And he's always been very vocal. So I went from thinking I was grown to living back in the same house, and we sharing a room.
Oh wow.
I'm 18, he's 14. We sharing a room. We got 2 bunk beds, and the bunk beds are across from each other. So I went from thinking I'm an adult to realizing how much of a kid I actually am.
Mm-hmm.
And every night before I go to sleep, he telling me how much of a loser I am.
Oh,
Full blown, straight to my face.
Wow.
Like he like, no, you can't. You better not raise your voice to me. You just got kicked out of school. You a loser. You ain't got no job. You ain't in school. You ain't doing nothing with your life. You a grown man sleeping on your mama couch. Full blown every day.
Like that?
Every day. My brother is a nuisance. Every day. And at this point, I'm in the deepest depression I've been in a long time. Because I'm like, oh, the reality is sitting in.
Yeah,
he's right.
Yeah.
I'm not in school. I don't have a job. I got fired already. I didn't quit a job. My track history with work is already terrible. I didn't got kicked out of school.
Yeah.
I don't have no other offers.
Right.
Nothing in life is looking bright to me right now.
Right.
I don't have nothing going for me. My oldest brother, he come back home because he was living in a different apartment with his wife at the time.
Mm.
So he come to the house and he like, what are you doing here? It's the middle of the day. It's like 2 PM. What are you like just laying around watching TV for? And I was like, what else am I supposed to do? At this point, I'm so depressed. I don't want to go get no job.
Right.
I thought that's what a job was sticking my hand in a tomato can. I'm like, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'll just rather sit here and just be a bum, basically, before I do that. I'm living like Jody, basically. I'm full blown, like eating all my mama's snacks, walking around the house, like in the middle of the day, like asking my mama what she doing for work, like where's she going? Can she pick me up something when she get back?
Oh,
I'm like full blown. Yeah, I'm that. Yeah, I'm that. So my brother come home and he like, what are you doing? You stink. Like you not showering. Just in this house. You ain't combing your hair. I had a natural fro at the time, so I was like natural locks almost.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, you look terrible. He was like, come to the gym with me right now. Mind you, I did really well in high school, so I'm thinking I'm just about to go in the gym and dominate people. I go to the gym. The first day, he takes me to who's my coach now. His name is Dewey Cooper. Very, Francis Ngannou, the UFC heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
His coach.
Oh, okay, got
very,
it.
very well-renowned coach.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I go. I'm thinking I'm about to run through everybody. He throw me in. This is where it get crazy. He literally is like, hey, my brother walks in. He's like, hey, this is Keith. This is my younger brother. He's fucking up in life. He don't got nothing going for him. I just want him to be able to train with the team. Dewey plays no games. Dewey, like, if you're going to be here, you're going to be here. You're not going to be playing with me. You're not going to waste my time. At the time, he was still fighting. He was like 38, 39, 40, something like that. So he was still fighting. And he was basically like, if you're going to be here, you're going to be here. He gave me a pair of gloves. Never put on a pair of gloves in my life. He gave me a pair of gloves that didn't fit me. He gave me a piece of paper towel that he wet for a mouthpiece. Stuff it in my mouth. And he made me go 8 rounds with an Olympic boxer.
Damn. Oh my God.
I go 8 rounds. Very first day in a gym ever. He can attest to this story. Very first day in a gym ever. I go 8 rounds with an Olympic boxer. The guy's like 20 years old. We're about the same size. I'm whooping his ass.
Oh wow.
Whooping his ass. No technique.
There we
At
go.
all.
Because I
nothing.
was expecting the
had
I
worst.
thought it was gonna be going the other way.
know.
What's
I
wild
had-
about you telling us stories? We always think it's going the opposite
way.
direction.
We're like,
And I'm
oh.
telling you, and I'm whooping his ass. Like to the
Yes.
point where Dewey is like, who is this?
Right.
Like, what is he doing in here? Like,
And you punching or wrestling?
I'm punching. Oh,
And
it's
you
full
never,
aggression.
You never boxed.
I only fought. Never boxed. Only fought.
He was taking all that college aggression out of
Yeah,
that poor boy,
yeah.
baby.
fully fighting.
Just like
Yes.
you did in wrestling.
He didn't know what to do with the aggression. I'm talking about, I'm full blown, just street fighting.
Yeah.
It's catching him off guard, basically, is what it was.
Right.
It's not that I had better skills than him, or I was more like,
You just pissed.
I'm just hot. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm feeling tested at this point because I'm like, you gonna throw me in here with him? All right, you trying to embarrass me? All right, now
People
I'm about
trying to
fight.
embarrass you.
They're trying to embarrass
It's
me.
a consistent thing
It's
with your
different.
life.
Yes. So I'm like,
it
all right.
unlocks a rage in you.
So
Yes.
now it's time to fight. So I'm whipping his ass. I get out the ring. We both bloodied up.
Yeah.
We both like spitting up blood. Is one of them. We was in there fighting. I'm throwing him out the ring. It's bad. Yeah, it's bad. So Dewey is like, I like him. I like his aggression. I like his attitude. Let's bring him to the team. And my life changed forever. My
Wow.
life changed forever.
Wow.
Once somebody believing in me, my brother believed in me, and Dewey believed in me. I start training every day. I start focusing on fighting. And I really like found a home for it. I trained for a year straight. I went straight to amateurs. So usually you're supposed to train for a long time. I was like, nah, I want to get some money.
Yeah.
I trained for a year straight. I went straight to amateurs. I went 4-0 as an amateur. I started professionally fighting at 18, and I was 20. I started professionally fighting, and I went, I think I was like 3-1, 3-2. And I was like, this is my lifestyle. This is what I do. This is me. Basically.
So
I was
what
training
was your
every day.
last fight?
In September of last year.
Oh, so
Last
like
year?
Yes,
I'm still a professional
it's on-
fighter.
Yes,
Right
it's
before
on
I
knew you were
TikTok.
I just didn't
We ain't
know
even there
it was
yet. Look, we ain't
September.
even there yet. We ain't even there yet.
He
I don't
no.
want to
I was
skip. I want to
watching
skip.
it. I didn't realize it was September
Yeah.
last year.
Yes.
That was
Yes,
last
I want to
week.
skip. Yeah, I don't want to skip. I don't want to skip. So I started fighting, and I'm like really taking it as a career. It's serious at this point. I met my wife. Oh, I completely skipped a part of the story real quick. I met my wife because
Don't pass that.
I got a job at a shoe store right after I started training.
Okay.
It was like a couple weeks after I started training. I got a job at a shoe store called ASICS. ASICS, like running shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be
And
rocking those.
me and my wife was working there together.
Mhm.
And she never lets me forget this story. It was like an onboarding process where we did like a team building exercise, and we had to make a circle and hold hands with somebody who was next to us. She was next to me. We held hands and we looked at each other, and she swears she saw fireworks. She
Your
swears she saw
life
something.
is literally a scripted
It's a movie, bro.
bro.
It's a
Every-
movie. I'm
can
telling
see
you,
it.
it's a movie. I swear, I'm Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness.
He's like, I'm there.
There's
I
some people who would
promise
like
you.
to make this.
That's why I'm so happy I did this. That's why I'm so happy
Hypothetically
I'm here,
speaking,
Kev.
You know somebody
why I'm
with
so
a
happy
Now,
I'm here.
listen, we are
studio.
happy
That's
to
why I'm
hear
so
all
happy
the
I'm here.
pieces of the
So
story
she sees fireworks.
So-
at A6, holding hands
Right.
at
We
orientation.
hold hands.
That was
I
a
didn't-
sick interaction.
I didn't know
Joshua,
it.
not right
I'm sorry.
now.
I had to. It was there.
So
It
you
was there.
only,
So
you
I didn't know
only
it at that
18,
point.
19.
I'm 19, about to
19.
turn 20.
Okay.
19, about to turn 20. So I didn't know it at that point.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
like, oh, this pretty girl,
Mhm.
very pretty. At
Mm.
first, I didn't think she was into men. She had a short haircut. She
You
was
said
very,
she liked
very
the
short.
women.
And that's how I treated her. And I told her that. And I was like, oh, you a homeboy. I was like, she wanted a homeboy. I was like, oh yeah, Ronnie cool. Cause she real like down to earth. I was like, oh yeah, Ronnie cool. I can talk to her about anything.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it as like, that's one of the homeboys.
Yeah.
And she came to me one day, we was working together, and she was like, she did something and she had took her jacket off. And I was like, God damn. I was like, wait a
You
minute.
said now,
I said, one of the homeboys got a body on her.
Amen. Amen.
I said, God damn.
Amen.
Cause
oh,
again,
boy, is that?
Amen.
she born and raised in California, so she carried herself real confident, like,
Yeah.
and she always had big hoodies on. She always had like big jogging pants. This day she was wearing leggings,
He was like, hold up.
and she took the hoodie
I
off.
have completely misjudged
Yeah,
this situation.
100%. I said, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute. You said fireworks. You say, yeah.
Let's talk more about that.
Fireworks. Tell me more about this, because I'm seeing some now as well.
Yes.
I'm talking about the body crazy. I'm like, oh, okay. I said, okay, we can reevaluate this. So she came to me the next day, and she was
Funny,
like,
man.
so she came to me the next day, and she was
Funny.
like, hey, I want to work out. I hear you a professional fighter. Let's work out together. And I was like, hell yeah, let's work out
He's
together.
absolutely.
What do you
wanna wear
mean?
something tight?
I'm a professional
Professional.
trainer now.
You know, I I was in the ring
swear,
I was in
that
the
is
ring with an
not-
Olympic athlete. You know,
That's
it's-
not a
it's-
joke. I
I'm
lied to her and
Customado.
told her I'm a professional trainer. I was like, I will train you and whoever you want me to train. I swear to you.
I do group training.
She brought her best friend. The next day, we went. She was a college student at UNLV, the college in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We went to UNLV. She brought her best friend, and I ran a full practice. I had him stretching. I had him running.
You know, this really helps your quads. When you,
I tell you
is
no lie. I
wild.
tell you no lie. I'm running a full practice. I damn near got a whistle at this point. Like it's like a full, it's full blown. It's a full blown practice. After the practice, we end up going to a car. We end up going to her car.
Oh my
right?
God.
We sit in her car, and she think I'm hot shit. She think my shit don't stink.
Right.
I'm a professional athlete. I done told her I'm rich and I'm only working at a job for fun.
He was rich.
Oh, you know, just to stay down to earth with the commoners.
what I
I'll be
told
working
her.
at
That's
HTT.
really what I told
So
her.
I stay grounded.
Right,
You know?
I was telling all because my brother at this point he went from making 10 to 10 to like he was making like 100 a fight.
What's 10 and 10 mean?
10,000 and 10,000. So 10,000 a show and 10,000 a win.
Oh, got
So
it.
he started with 10,000 a show. So 10,000 a show basically means as long as you step in the cage, you are guaranteed 10,000.
Okay.
As long as you step in the cage and the bell start, you getting $10,000.
I get knocked out for 10,000.
As long as the bell ring, that's what you get.
I-
Yeah.
But
listen,
if you win, you get another
They still
10,000
do
added
those?
on top of your.
If you
your
lose,
package.
that's it.
If you lose, you only get the show money.
Got it.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
But after you get off the regional, so the regional scene starts at like 200 and 200. 3 and 3, $200.
Oh,
Yeah, you
wait.
fighting for free.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you
I
meant
see. I didn't get to that point yet. I
I'm
didn't
a
get to
real
that story
Tommy,
yet.
wait.
I
Yeah,
didn't get to that point in the story.
I
yet.
was
So-
like 10 inches to step in.
No. So
I'm
look,
doing
I
that
didn't
on
even
the
get to the
side.
point of that story yet. So I like I said, I'm telling everybody at the job, like my brother's rich. We got this big ass because we did have a big ass house.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying none of the bills,
Right.
but we got this big ass house. We rich. I'm like at this point, he got a Mercedes. We set.
Yeah.
But I know in my head I want to have my own things.
Yeah.
So that's why I got a job. She don't know that. We get in the car again. She think I'm hot shit. And we start flirting, and I'm like, oh wait, this not one of the homeboys. We actually like flirting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, it's gonna sound like a fucking movie. You remember the ATL where Nunu
Yep.
and
Yep.
Rashad
T.I.
was sitting in the car?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. We were sitting in the car.
Really?
We were staring at each other. A song started playing in the background. We kissed, and I was like, "Oh, we go together." I was like, "Oh, that's
We go
it."
together
You
real
love her.
bad.
I never had a car at this point. I'm a kid still.
Yeah.
I had just got my first car. She got her own car. She got her own house. Well, I thought it was her own house. She was living in an apartment on like a college campus. But to
Yeah.
me, you grown.
Listen.
I got a grown woman.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He's like, when I went to college, I stayed in hotels.
exactly.
You got a whole
exactly.
apartment.
You got an apartment.
Oh, he shared a room
And
with
also, I was
somebody
not
at
registered
the
at this
hotel.
college.
You got an apartment. I was like, oh yeah, you grown. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I ain't letting you go.
Right.
No, you ain't going nowhere.
He's like, I
You
got a
ain't going
grown woman.
nowhere.
Lock him
So-
down.
Immediately. So like I said, we kissed that day. She just like, oh, I just kissed some dude that I like, basically. And I think we are in a full relationship. so I invited her out to a function like the next day. I had some friends from an old job. I had some friends because I used to lifeguard when I very, very first got there. So I had friends from a lifeguarding job, right? And they were like around my age, but they were drinking really heavy. At this
Yeah.
point, I'm not a drinker, I was a smoker.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take you to this function that they going to. And it was like a hookah lounge.
Mm.
They had told me they knew the owners of the hookah lounge. So the hookah lounge was supposed to be free. I was like VIP. Again, I'm hot shit. I invite her with that, like, everything on me.
No.
Come with you and your friend. Y'all get everything you want to drink. We going to the front of the line. We get there. We wait in line. We pay. We wait in line. We get there. None of the drinks were free at all.
He's like, if y'all can slow down on
Yeah,
the
I didn't
drink.
even. We didn't even get to that point. As soon as I heard that we had to pay, I was like, "It's time to leave." I was like, "Who house we going to? We going to one of y'all houses." So one of my friends at the time, he had a house, and I was like, "Oh," and I played it off. I was like, "I don't even like this fucking hookah lounge." I mean,
Right. This is lame.
We gotta get out of here. Internal monologue. I gotta get out.
I was panicking. I was like, "Oh, the gig is up." She know. I was like, "She know I'm broke. The jig is up." But she was being very supportive. I think she knew. She didn't let me know she knew. So I'm still playing this role. We get to
What's
my friend's
hookah
house.
anyway?
Yeah, I was like, I don't even want to be here, bro. We get to my friend's house. We get to drinking blue. What's it? What is it called?
You talking about the blue drink
is
hypnotic?
Hypnotic. We get to drinking hypnotic. Again, I'm not a drinker. We get to drinking hypnotic out the bottle. And I'm talking about smashing it. I get pissy drunk.
Literally.
She's not drinking at all. She might have had like a sip. She's a classy. She might have had a sip, if that. Her and her friend wasn't drinking because they wasn't comfortable with the situation.
Yeah.
I was an asshole. I'm drinking. All my friends are drinking. We like partying, getting wild. One of the friends that I didn't know, one of the friends of my friend, he go to touch her best friend and like grab her.
Oh no.
I don't play that.
Yeah.
So immediately I'm like, oh, get your fucking hands off of her. I'm drunk. So I'm going overboard. My wife at the time, she's like, oh, well, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
It's time to go. She was like, me and my best friend are leaving. I'll see you later, basically, right? And I was like, oh, we leaving? She didn't mean that.
Yeah.
She meant her and her friend were
He's
leaving.
like, me and my girlfriend and her friend are going.
I said, yeah, it's time to go then. I was like, I'm following you. I'm going where you going. She like, I swear to God, she would tell you, I'm 100% right. She was like, where you going? I said, I'm following you. She get in the car, I follow her home. We in a relationship. She not thinking we in a relationship, but I'm like, that's my girlfriend. I'm going to my girlfriend's house. I follow her to the crib. Again, I'm super, super drunk. I follow her to the house. I shouldn't have been driving at all. Get to her house. She like, you really fucking follow me home, bro. I was like, yeah. I live here, basically.
Right.
Instead of her kicking me out or telling me to leave, she let me stay there for 2 days and she took care of me.
Wow.
I'm throwing up on the floor.
Oh, Keith.
I'm pissy. She taking care of me. She cleaning my throw up. She got me snacks. She gave me Hostess out of her closet. I'm taking showers. She wearing lingerie. I ain't never been with nobody wearing lingerie. I was like, I'm with a grown woman. I'm in love. I'm in love. I swear to you. I was like, oh, I made it. Come to find out, she's like just being nice. She got a full boyfriend at the time.
What?
A whole boyfriend. He in college. He in California still while she in college. A whole boyfriend.
That's why I didn't date anybody going into college somewhere else.
I'm in love.
Ronnie was like,
and she kept trying to tell me, it wasn't even her fault. She kept trying to tell me, like, leave me alone.
she's like, nigga, you are my trainer and co-worker.
You just training me that I find attractive. Leave me alone. And I'm like, no, baby, you said fireworks. What the fuck happened? That's fireworks.
That means something to me.
Right.
You understand? Fireworks.
So come to find out, like I said, she got a full boyfriend. They've been together for a long time. Like since middle school type shit. Since middle school type
Keithley
shit.
is a homewrecker.
Yes. He a whole side piece.
So
Don't
I'm
even know
like,
it.
oh, it's raps. I was like, oh yeah, I'm taking you from him. Oh yeah. I was like, you mine. It's rats. I'm full blown. Like I ain't going nowhere. Basically, right?
Oh my God.
So long story short, she ended up leaving her boyfriend from me.
Well, I see.
but
That
see,
part-
but-
In between that,
Spoiler alert.
And
we got
between that-
children.
in between that, I was still fucking up. I had made her leave her boyfriend just so I can go be a hoe, basically.
Oh, Keith.
I was a hoe. I was a hoe. I
You
was
had
everywhere.
left that woman with that boy.
I'm everywhere. I'm talking about everywhere. I'm terrible. I'm
Keith,
terrible
where's
for
the
everybody.
redemption? This
Look,
is where we
I'm
are.
terrible for everybody. So we basically,
Man,
Everything takes a turn,
I'm
man.
terrible for
He done
everybody.
had a life before the tick and the top.
I'm terrible. So basically, fast forward to 2018.
No.
We break
You are
up.
the youngest, oldest 26-year-old I've ever met in
He
my
has
life.
lived twice of
Fast
a
forward
life
to
we've lived.
2018, we break up, right? Because again, I'm fucking up.
Yeah.
Talking to girls, I'm texting people, and she like, I'm not having that. At this point, she's serious. Like I
Yeah.
said, she done left her boyfriend for me. She then like moved in with me, and we, in her eyes, we serious, but in my eyes, I'm in love, but I still want to be young,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I'm still being influenced by everybody, so I'm out drinking and smoking, even though I don't do that. I'm out partying and whatnot. And she sat me down one day and she was like, either you gonna get yourself together or we not gonna be together at all. And she left and she went back to California. At this point, she had stopped school because she got really sick. So it was just me and her. We were like working at, I had quit A6 already. I quit that shit like 2 weeks into the job. I'm gone. After I found her, I'm gone.
You only had a job because you were rich
After I
anyway.
found her, I'm gone. Yeah. So I ended up working as a lifeguard again. And she was, I forgot where she was working. But basically, she had quit A6 and we were just together. And I'm fucking up. She leaves me. She goes to California. And I'm living with my brother. I'll never forget. I was broke as a joke. I had quit every job I had. I'm working as a lifeguard, but I'm not making no money for real. I had an old Cadillac that he had bought me. And I'm so entitled at this point, or I'm so used to being entitled, then I'm trying to break out of that. So I'm like trying to get my shit together. And I'm like, I really want her back, but I don't know how to say I want her back. So I'm doing everything independently. I had an old Cadillac that had ran out of gas and I'm pushing it down the street. And I'm pushing it by myself. I go in the house and I ask my brother, I'm like, hey, you got some change that I can use to get some gas? And apparently I had walked in like with my head down and my shoulders shrugged. Yeah. And my little brother made fun of me. He was like, you got some money I can use for some gas? And I was like, damn, that's what I look like.
Stay on your neck.
Yeah, that little brother. Yeah, he was terrible, bro. He was terrible. So basically I just said that to say,
man.
I was so driven to be independent at a point. I got my shit together. I called her. We got back together. We ended up moving in together. And this is where it takes a turn. This is where everything goes positive.
Which direction it's
positive. This is where everything starts. Like this is how I am who I am today.
Okay. All
this
right.
is how I am who I am today.
Let's
Here we
into
go.
that.
Here we go. Act 3 of the Keith Lee story.
Yes. So we didn't got through again. I had never done this before. We didn't got through all of the drama. We didn't understood why I am how I am.
Mm.
I understand what it feels like to be in pain. I understand what it feels like to be forgotten about. People not believing in you. You not believing in you. You not thinking that you're worthy of anything. Because that was the only reason I was cheating, really.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't think that she loved me as much as she said she did.
Yeah.
So I said I was in love at first, and I was acting like I was in love. But when it came to show true love, I didn't have that. Because I didn't love myself for real. I didn't know what it meant to really care about me.
Yeah.
So when somebody actually cared about me, and I finally had her leave her boyfriend and really pay me attention, I didn't know how to take that.
You didn't think you were worthy of that.
I didn't think I was worthy.
Yeah.
So I was showing out in all of the ways I possibly can to show you like I'm not worthy, even though I always had it in me to be worthy. So we moved in. I stopped going out to clubs. I started learning how to say no.
Yeah.
I started saying no to everybody. Everybody's like, he changing, he weird, like he falling in love with this girl, like they really getting serious. We were living in a small apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment, on Boulder Highway, which is the hood in Vegas. And it was like $1,000 a month. I'm broke at this point. I didn't quit my my job as a lifeguard. I'm working for Postmates. So I'm doing Postmates to pay the bills. I'm still a professional fighter, but like I said, we get to that. I was making $200 and $200. So I was making no money at all.
Yeah.
And I was so proud that I didn't know how to ask my brother for anything. I didn't want to ask him for anything anymore because he had brought us to Vegas. He had us living in his nice house.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm on my own now. I'm grown and legit grown this time. So I'm using her car to do Postmates. I'm using her car, going back and forth. No money being brought in at all. And we are just like madly in love. Madly in love. She got me back into God, got me really paying attention to my faith. I started working at H&M and life is going splendid. Working at H&M, doing really well for myself. I was broke still, but thinking I was doing really well for myself.
Yeah.
We had moved into the place that we're in now. And we at the time we spent like $1,000. So again, still broke.
Right.
I was like, it's time. So I was making $500 a fight. This is in November of 2019. We were getting along so well, and I was like, it's time to get married. I don't know why. I believe in God. So I was praying a lot.
Yeah.
I had told her, I told this story on TikTok before, but I had told her like, okay, I'm about to go out to this. We had no money for rent. So I was like, I'm about to do this fight in Miami for $500, and my portion was $500. And I was like, as long as I can get this money, we should be good. But when I get back, I'm proposing and we having babies. And she was like, what? I said, yeah.
With the 500.
With the 500.
Let me put one in your girl.
And at this point, at this point, it's 3 years since we've been living together. So I'm really like faithful. I'm listening to God.
Yeah.
I'm the man who I am today.
Yeah.
I'm full blown. I'm tending to her. I'm catering to her. I'm a great boyfriend at the time, wanting to be husband. And she saw that potential in me. And she's always wanted to get married and have kids. That's why she ended up taking me back, because she saw the potential in me.
Yeah.
So she was extremely elated that I had said that. She was like, are you for real now? Like, are we being serious? And I took her birth control. I flew down flushed her down the toilet.
We really making this baby.
I was like, I'm dead serious.
My.
I was like, I'm dead serious. I want you to know I'm dead serious. She jumped up and she was crying out of joy. And she was like, this is all I've been asking for. It's for you to be serious, for you to really want me.
Yeah.
I did that fight in Miami. I won, came back, proposed to her. 2 days after I proposed, we got pregnant. with my daughter Carter.
God, dog,
I was
Keith.
serious. I got back and we got married and we had a baby.
2 days.
Got that
2
dog.
days
in him.
later, I
That-
had
he
a
got
baby.
That
That
summer
baby
like,
was already there.
The
before
same
he
day-
left that fight.
The same day I found out that she was pregnant, I got a call from my manager. That fight that I took in Miami won me a contract with Bellator.
Mhm.
It was a 6-figure contract.
Okay.
The same day that I had the baby. So life is splendid. I'm like, yeah, I'm married. I got
Yeah.
a baby. I got money coming in. I won my first 2 fights in Bellator. I'm doing fucking well.
Yeah.
Life is amazing. The pandemic start, and I start doing TikTok. I started doing TikTok because my social anxiety was so bad. I couldn't. If you go back to watch my interviews back in 2019 or 2020, I was so bad. I would literally be like shaking, and I would be talking to people, and I would be like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a fight, and and it was so terrible."
Mhm.
So I started recording myself just to get over that hump and get
Yeah.
comfortable. And that ended up turning into me doing full blown TikTok. I ended up losing my contract in August of 2021. I ended up losing 2 fights in a row to the champion that's the champion right now, and a guy who was ranked number 5. I took both of those fights on short notice, 3 weeks notice. I cut 30 pounds for both of those fights.
I told you
And
you
3
can cut
weeks
30 in
notice.
3. Didn't I tell you you could cut 30 in 3
cut-
2 weeks ago?
I cut 30 pounds in 3 weeks, both times,
Now,
for
how
both of
we
those
do?
fights.
So I need to get into wrestling. Is what I mean.
30
to UFC.
pounds?
30.
We-
So they
we're
called
gonna
me
be
and I
fighters,
was
Kevin.
they called me and I was 166 pounds, and I had to weigh in at 136 pounds.
What
And
do you
3
even
weeks.
do?
In 3
Just
weeks.
said
With
So cutting is different than losing.
Yeah.
It's a super detailed, but I'm gonna just get real quick. So basically you just cut down all your calories. You go into a calorie deficit, so
Right.
you lose more than you take in, basically.
Yeah.
And then I was training 3 times a day, 6 days a week,
Kevin, we can do it.
I'm out.
while doing Postmates
We can do it.
Y'all doing Postmate.
and
While doing
TikTok.
podcasts
and TikTok.
Yeah,
I was
we can do it.
TikToking, Postmating, and work and training every single day.
I'm out.
And like I said, I lost 30 pounds. This was normal for me. I was used to losing that much though. So because I've been doing it my whole life.
I don't think it's 30 can
I don't
leave
know
me
how
that
your
way.
brain still operates.
It
when you're
don't
doing
not
it.
well.
Okay, that's the part
not
that
well.
I'll be like.
So you usually supposed to
"Okay,
have like
okay,
6 to 8 weeks, but they basically how the fight game works is that they call you, You are on call contractor. So when they call you, you got to be ready. So it was an opportunity of a lifetime. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. They was offering me 25 and 25.
Okay.
25 grand, 25 grand. I was like, I need that money, Frankie.
Wow.
I need that.
Frankie,
I gotta
I
have
need
it.
that
I need that money, Frankie. I gotta have it. So I took the fight. I lost both of them.
Mm.
They cut me, and the way they cut me was like they didn't call me, they didn't say anything. So I never got stopped in a fight. Stop is basically like getting submitted or getting choked out.
Mhm.
I got submitted for the first time on my last fight in August of 2021 in Bellator, and it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever went through in my life. I'm
Mm.
bleeding. I'm fucking going. I went unconscious. I got up, didn't think I was unconscious, ran to the side of the cage,
Oh,
fell
no.
face first into the side of the cage,
Oh, Keith.
came back up. This is a video on YouTube and on fucking World Star. They posted on World Star everywhere. At this point, I already had 1 million followers on TikTok.
Hey, we already
So it
know
was
what
all
you
over
are
TikTok.
embarrassed.
Oh,
How
it was all over
embarrassed you
TikTok.
for-
I get back on my For You page, and all I see is me running to the side of the cage, and I'm bleeding. I'm bloody
not
everywhere.
them serving up to you.
Oh, I'm
Hey, look
talking
at
about
this video.
like full
You'll
blown.
like this. I don't know. I don't
Related
like
content.
I'm talking about full blown, like bloodied on national TV in front of
Oh.
40,000 people. I had 1 million followers on TikTok. I wasn't making any money from TikTok at all. So I get home
Jeez.
and I'm like, okay, I call my
always
manager.
wonder what it was like for a fighter to see them after a bad showing.
Oh, it was terrible.
You gotta
I was-
really look
I
back.
was the most depressed I've ever been in my life. I thought depression was the story I told you earlier.
Yeah.
I was going through it.
Man.
I had a 1-year-old. Carter was 1 at the time. Like I said, I had 1 million followers. So I had people telling me, like, bro, why are you still fighting? You got 1 million followers. No money was coming in at
I've been
all.
trying to tell people about
At
TikTok.
all. I'm talking about at
They
all.
will give you 1 million
I
followers.
was making
and-
$400 a month off of TikTok. At no money at all.
been
Mm.
So
trying
I
to tell
had
them,
just
folks.
lost my 6-figure contract. At this point, I didn't even know I lost it. Actually, I didn't even know I lost it. I'm in the house after losing the fight. I'm bloodied up. I can barely see out my left eye. My baby is coming up to me. I can barely walk. She coming up to me like, daddy, daddy, daddy. And at this point, she's not really talking, but I can see she's like, are you okay? She like reaching out to me, want to hug me. I'm in the bed, curled up. I called my manager and I was like, please get me on the fight card right now. I want to fight again. My pride is talking at this point. I
Yeah.
want to fight again. And my manager's like, no, you got cut, bro. He was like, yeah, they let you go out your contract because you lost 2 fights.
Dang.
So
that's all it takes.
That they didn't say anything else to me. They just was like, you out your contract.
Dang.
Hung up the phone on me, right? He was like, we'll be back. That's all he said. He was like, yeah, we'll be back. He hung up the phone on me. I was already depressed. And at this point, I'm in a full-blown fetal position, crying my fucking heart out.
Oh.
And my wife is standing over me like, it's okay. And she rocking with me. She like, it's okay.
Man.
We got it. She literally, this was in August of 2021. So I'm not talking about 10 years ago.
No.
This is less than 2 years ago. And she's literally like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. I'm so depressed. I fucking words can't even express it. I'm like, and at this point, I'm not thinking about suicide because I got a little girl that's looking at me.
Right.
And I'm married. Like I can't go to those thoughts anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm living for something bigger than me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just prayed. I was begging. Like, please just fucking find me a way out. Restaurant hit me up that same day. It was like, hey, can you come try this food out? I was like, sure. Why the fuck not? I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, am I really about to do this? I'm about to make full content. I ain't got no job now. I lost my contract. I ain't got no job. I'm like, am I about to make full content for a fucking living? And God just kept telling me, like, listen to me. Just please listen to me. And I listened. I started making like cooking content and I started focusing on that. And by June of 2022, I got my first contract with Wingstop for 6 figures.
Oh my
The same
And
exact
they not
amount of
gonna
money.
punch you.
The same exact amount of money that I had lost with the Bellator contract.
Dang.
It's literally like less than 6 months later. So I'm like, God is amazing. At this point,
amazing.
I'm full. I had 1.3 million followers, and I'm finally making money off of it.
June
and I'm
of
like,
2022.
I'm doing it right.
That was like
Fucking,
8 months ago.
bro.
Yes.
So
8 months ago, Kevin.
got the contract with Wingstop. Shout out to Wingstop. Wingstop is God sent. They treated me so well over
And
there.
more than one way, because also the lemon pepper.
Oh,
They
man,
treated
those
me
lemon
so
pepper-
well.
But for you
Fire.
too, but
They treated me so well. And
Fire.
so Ronnie
Seasoned
got
fries,
pregnant
too.
again
Cheesy
with
fries.
my second baby
I love
in
those cheesy
January.
fries.
So we
Yeah.
got the contract in June. So I'm like, oh, we good. The baby
Yeah.
gonna be here in September. We got some money coming in. We straight. In October, I got a call from People vs. Food. It's a YouTube channel.
Yep.
This is what I was talking about.
I got a call from People vs. Food, and they're like, hey, we want you to be on the show. And I was like, me? I've been watching y'all since I was 18. The same way I treated you. I'm like, bro, I've been watching you since I was a
I
kid.
know it was crazy.
Been watching you since I was a child. And they literally was like, we want you to be on the show. And I had 1.6 million followers. And I was like, absolutely, I'll be on the show. And I was like, I talked to my wife and I was like, what do they post on their channel? And I was like, they post food reviews. They eat food and they like, oh, this is good. This is not good, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, what would I post on my page that would make people not only come from their page and look at it, but actually follow me? And I
Yeah.
like food reviews. So I talked to my wife and I was like, I'm gonna post one food review every day until I get on People vs. Food. So people can come and follow me. I did one food review. It was called 303 Food Truck. People were tagging me. It was like, hey, you gotta go try this. You gotta go try this. I went and it got 10 million views. And the line was around the corner. And a news broadcaster came out and was asking people in line, like, where'd you hear about this set? Why are you here, basically? And people were like, oh, I'm from Virginia. I saw this black guy with locks on TikTok. And he said the food was amazing. So I'm coming to try this cheesecake sandwich. He said it was good. That happened for 3 days straight. Line out around the corner.
Wow.
He had a 4-hour wait time. And I was like, oh, this is something I can do. So I was like, and mind you, I'm not even thinking that far. I'm like, let me just keep posting these food reviews because I told my wife I was going to keep posting them. I did one for Aroma Latin Cocina. They reached out to me and was like, hey, we basically ain't got no money. We can't afford rent. We only getting 4 to 5 people in a day, but the food is amazing. I'm the daughter of the owner, and he don't know I'm reaching out to you. I would love for you to come try
I
it.
remember this.
That's almost verbatim what you said.
He was like,
in the
I would
video.
love for you to come try it. I said, cool. Not thinking nothing of it. Went to go try it. The video got like 10 million views again, like almost 15 million. It was a line out the door. A line, I'm talking about down the fucking street. I go back and I see this line and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And the owner reached out to me and he was in tears. He was like, you saved my life.
Oh my God.
He was like, you saved my life. He was like, I was in $40,000 worth of debt. He's like, I was about to close the doors.
What does that do to you?
It broke me down.
Wow.
It broke me down. And again, this was a year after I had lost my contract. So it was a year from being at the lowest point of my life, thinking that everything was over with, everything was done. And now I'm just seeing these blessings that I prayed for and just blossom. And they just blossoming right in front of me. At this point, it's the end of November. I told you at the beginning of November, I had 1.6. At the end of November, I had 5 million followers. And I'm literally like, I'm in shock. Every time I post a video, I'm in shock. I'm praying more I've ever prayed in my life.
Right.
I'm
I
praying
saw you
before.
put you like I'm praying 20
I'm
times a day.
telling you, I'm praying before I shoot a video. I'm praying before I edit. I'm praying before I go in the house. I'm praying nonstop because I'm so used to this fucking roller coaster, Kev. I'm
Yeah.
about to cry again. I'm so used to this fucking roller coaster that I'm like, I know something bad's about to happen. I know it's coming, but I'm just like, I'm praying. I'm
Big
like, I'm
leap.
just thanking
Mhm.
God for being in the position, and it just kept going and going and going. And then I
Mhm.
went to Frankincense Pizzeria.
Come on, that's the one
Frankincense.
now.
I went to Frankincense Pizzeria, and the same thing. Summer, who was an employee there, she reached out to me and she was like, "Frank, no, I'm reaching out to you. We really slow. 2 people a day, not making any. 2 people a day." He said we open the doors literally just to be here, and he's like, we have great Yelp reviews, but the only bad Yelp reviews is because we say we open at 1 o'clock in the morning, but we can't open that late because we don't have any business. So we usually close at 7 o'clock because nobody comes here.
Dang.
She's like, Frank, don't know you coming. Please just come and try the food. That's all I'm asking for. I had like, I'm growing rapidly at this point. I had like 7 million followers, 6 million followers, maybe something like that. I had like 6
Yeah.
million, 5 million. And I just go and I called my order in. Frank answered the phone, and Frank, like the most nice person I've ever met in my fucking life. He
Yeah.
like, what do you need?
The service.
Service is
Service.
amazing.
Customer
Service is
amazing. Again,
amazing.
I've only done like 10 food reviews to this point, so nobody really knew my face. They might have known, like, oh,
10?
10 food reviews.
It was only 10 at this
This is what
point.
I'm
Nobody-
trying to get you to
The price
understand.
He didn't know who I was.
Up and pure, bro.
He didn't know who I was. He had no idea. I was not known around Vegas at all for being a food reviewer. People on TikTok kind of just start calling me like, oh, that's the guy to do food reviews.
Yeah.
But really, like, it was just like, I'm just Keith, basically.
Yeah.
So I called. He had no idea who I was. I go, and as soon as I walk in, he like, grab you a Gatorade. A big, tall, white man, 6 feet, 6'3", tall, gray beard, come around the corner, and he like, grab you a Gatorade out of there. I was like, why? He was like, just because I want you to have Gatorade. And I was like, oh, cool, okay. Again, I'm thinking at this point, I'm like, he gotta know something.
Right.
She had to tell him, like,
Yeah.
he got 6 million followers type shit.
Yeah.
But he had no idea. He gave me a Gatorade, we sit and talk, and he just kept staring at me. He was like, bro, what do you do? And I was like, what do you mean? What do I do? He's like, what do you do? I was like, I make food videos on TikTok. And he was like, and his face went blush red. And he was like, wait, I thought you were an athlete. And I was like, oh yeah, I fight too. And he was like, oh, okay, that's crazy because I've wrestled my whole life and my kids wrestled. So I just saw how you walked and how you carried yourself, and I thought you was a wrestler. That's why I asked. And little do we know, I was a blessing in disguise. He started talking to me and he was like, well, you do food reviews. Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in extreme debt and I'm about to close the doors because I have no idea what I'm doing with this business. This has been my dream for 30 years, and I finally opened it and it's become a nightmare, basically. He said, I have no idea what I'm doing with it. I'm about to close down. I can't handle it, basically. And I was like, well, I can't promise anything. Because I've only had 2 reviews do that well. So I was like, I don't know if that review gonna do that well. So I can't promise you anything.
Don't put it up on me.
Yeah, don't put it on me.
Right.
Don't be like, oh,
I'll pay for this Gatorade.
yeah,
We're
bro, it's it. I
I'll
said,
pay
don't
for
do
the
that.
Gatorade.
I'll
I
pay
got
for the
$3.
cool. I got the
I didn't pay.
$2.49.
Still to this point, I didn't pay for all my food at Aroma, at the 303 food truck, at this place. I paid like $100.
Mm-hmm.
Gave him $100, and again, Wingstop was paying me well, so I'm like, cool. I give you the $100. Paid the $100, and that $100 turned into him having a 4-hour wait line every day for the last 3 months.
I can believe that.
Still today.
I can believe
Still.
that. I can believe that.
Still, if you go to Frankincense right now, he has a section in the corner for airport luggage because people come straight off the plane and go to him. So he has a section in the corner.
I can believe it.
That is influence.
That is
He has a
Oprah's
section
favorite
in the
things
corner.
level.
Yeah.
for luggage. He went from
never mind.
having 3 employees to 27 employees.
Whoa, you changed a bunch of people's life.
He had 27
God
employees.
was sending you, all right, we're gonna fix that with food truck. And then you go down to Frankincense and you fix that. And you ain't gonna never have to put your hands in hot soup
This
water.
was-
He
this
didn't
was in
just
December.
get you paid. He got other people.
That's what I'm saying.
This was in
He
December.
Live.
Joshua.
This was in December.
It
They
is
called me.
February.
They called me and was like, hey, the news called me and was like, hey, we've seen what you've done. We would love for you to come down and do a news piece. And I was like, no, that's Frank's. I was like, you go give Frank that attention because he deserves it.
Let me.
And
This is what
I
I.
didn't
This is
show
why
up.
you're the people's champ. This is the what I've been wanting to.
Come on.
He be the girl made the
sandwich.
Quizno sandwich.
And then the
Okay,
girl
I'm
with the
big,
cookie
okay.
at the job.
And the cookie down there,
Oh,
and,
funny.
and the brand was like, "Oh, Keith," and Keith was like,
Yeah.
"No,
what you're not gonna
y'all
do.
gonna go and you know, people of your size don't often redirect, right? And you be literally taking money out of your own pocket.
Absolutely.
And listen, I remember you said on a TikTok, and that's why this man gonna go far. You said, I don't make no money off these small businesses. They're barely making it. I'm gonna tax them brands.
100%.
Cinnabon, y'all people.
I tax well.
But that's why the people, if you get the support of the people, the brands don't matter. That's what I'm telling you. I don't be doing crazy branding.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
If you got the people, my Patreon, and I just want real quick, people who are watching this for free, this is supported by the Patreon.
Come on.
And we're going to give you all the full interview because Keith deserves this story. But the people will keep you.
You already know.
The brands come and go. The shows come and go. But the people go. Tabitha Brown. She has the support of the people. The brands follow where the people go. Brands don't know what they want until the people tell them what they want. They didn't know about Tab, so the people was like, we love Tab. Target.
What it was for me is I had no idea. Again, I'm waiting for this roller coaster to drop. I'm waiting for it to go down. So I'm like, I have to treat people the way I want to be treated.
Come on.
I have to treat people the way I want to be treated.
That's your listen.
And I genuinely, I get to 1.6, I get to 3 million. I'm like, oh, that's it. 3 million. I love being at 3 million. That's it. I get to 5 million. I'm like, oh, 5 million, a lot of followers.
That's not abundance.
I'm good. I'm set. I get to 7 million. I'm like, God damn. 9 million.
Stop saying
10 and a half. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm waking up every morning. I'm telling you, to this day, I'm waking up every morning like, what the fuck? Like, I go and look at my account and like, ain't no way that's mine. Ain't no way.
It's yours.
Ain't no way. But the whole time, I'm literally just being myself. I genuinely
people can tell
that's what
genuinely being myself.
I remember my first video of watching you was you eating some cookies. It was like a very expensive cookies.
Last crumb.
Yes. So this is before you had already over 1 million, but you weren't at your big level.
I wasn't making no money for real.
And I literally sat and watched that whole video because I was like, he is just really being himself. Eating these cookies.
When he did Frankenstein's, he was like, the fries are terrible.
Yeah, they
was like 2 out of 10. I was like, oh my God.
The craziest thing is that people were going to make my exact order, and he had fixed the fries after I left. People were going to make my exact order and being like, oh, they would send the fries back that were fixed to say, I want the fries that Keith had.
Wow.
Swear. They were like, I want unseasoned fries.
Want the experience.
Keith had unseasoned fries. I literally, like, he called me and was like, people are asking for me not to season fries.
What on earth?
Swear. I still to this day, even telling you this story, I have imposter syndrome. I be thinking I'm lying.
He's one of us.
I be thinking I'm lying.
Imposters.
I be thinking I'm playing.
We don't know.
I have no idea. No idea. So when we be talking about accolades and we be telling stories, I just be like, I guess it's true.
Man.
But it legit, like, the way I think about it is the same people you see on your way up are the people you're gonna see on your way down.
I literally was going to say this. I promise you.
The same people you see on your way up are the same people you're going to see on your way down.
If you treat everybody nice,
they going to not let you fall too far.
Because you'll never have to worry about it. And listen, when I moved here, Awesomeness TV, the people who were assistants, who I was nice to everybody because I was like, nigga, we ain't supposed to be here.
That's exactly how I felt.
Hello. We moved back 6 months later. They were producing movies. And they're like,
you never know.
They're running studios and they were grabbing coffee at that time. And I was like, nigga, I'm not supposed to be here anyway.
Right. Hello.
Keith said hi.
That's me.
To the cleaning man was here.
And I didn't know who. I was
listen, me, Angel, and Josh ain't been at the studio late.
Never.
The cleaning man was like, who are you? I'm like,
I saw
kept
a shadow figure walk across.
I'm me. That's the name. He like, I never seen
you.
Keith was like, hello, sir. How are you? Good evening.
Because I'm telling you, I just be like,
you don't know who he might be the cleaner of the world.
You never know. And in my eyes, again, like you said, the same people you see on your way up, the same people you see on your way down. You won't fall far if you are nice to those people because they're going to be like, hell no, not you. You ain't falling. They're going to pick you back up. But if you were an asshole on your way down, they're going to look at you.
They're going to stomp you down.
Yeah,
they're going to chase you like that
finally.
They're going to chase your ass down.
Finally.
They're going to piss and king.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So I feel like I've always just treated everybody the same because I know what it feels like to think you gonna be that shit. You think you him.
Yeah.
You ain't him yet. And I know it. And God was telling me, like, you gonna be him. I promise you, gonna be all of those, that arrogance that I was talking about and that confidence, it was true. It was rooted in something.
Yeah.
I just had to find it. I just had to find it. And I was trying to search for it. I think that was the problem. I was looking for it. I was trying to find it. Once I let go and let God and trust it, it found me. It came to me. I didn't know I was gonna help small businesses.
Man.
I'm a kid with social anxiety that got fucking anger issues. They got kicked out of every school. And my parents gave up on me. And nobody believed in me. I had no idea I would be saving people's lives. I went to Mr. Gary. Mr. Gary's a food truck. I went to Mr. Gary. I'm riding my bike home I do 10-mile bike rides. Riding my bike home, see this random fucking truck in the middle of nowhere. It's down a random street with lights on, neon lights. I roll my bike up to it, and I'm like, what is this? It's a seafood truck. I'm allergic to shellfish. So I'm reading the menu, and I'm like, oh, I can't have any of this. Before I can say that out loud, Mr. Gary, short black man, walk up to the window, and he like, how can I help you, sir? And I was like, oh, never mind. I can't have anything. I don't eat shellfish. And he was like, oh, don't worry about it. I got burgers and fries. I was like, but I can't have anything that touch shellfish. He was like, I get fresh grease, fresh oil, fresh pots, fresh pans.
That's that service.
This is 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
10 o'clock at night. Nobody's there. He hasn't had a sale all day. He's still sitting there giving that same customer service.
Dang.
So I'm like, all right, bet. When can you do that? Can you do it right now? He said, you know what? I'm going home to my family because I've been here all day and I really haven't made anything. So I'm going home, but can you come back tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Now, at this point, I had like 8 million followers. This was a few weeks ago. This was maybe like a month ago. I had like 8 million followers.
I remember this. I remember this story.
No idea. He don't even have TikTok. So he had no idea.
These old people, they like,
he don't know who I am. He just like, oh, this is a guy that want a burger. I can make him a burger because at least I get $10, basically. That's how he was thinking about it. So I get $10. I ain't made $10 today. $10 is better than nothing. So I go back the next day and he saw me and he immediately like turned white in the face. He was like, you the guy from last night? And I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, I called my mama. Mind you, this is a 50-year-old man. He's like, I called my mama and she told me, oh, well, he'll never be back. Because she thought that I was just basically fluffing him and like trying to make him feel good. So all night he was thinking about making his $10. All night he was like, he ain't coming back. I ain't gonna get no sale. I know I ain't gonna get no sale. He's basically talking to himself how I used to talk to myself. Like, I know this shit. This roller coaster going down. I know for a fact ain't nobody about to come and buy nothing for me. And his mom had told him, like, basically confirmed his doubts. So he saw me and he was shocked. And he was like, just in case you did come back, I did clean all the grills. I did change the oil. I did get new fresh utensils, but I didn't think he was coming back. And I was like, please make me that burger. I had did a giveaway to the less fortunate, maybe like 2 days before that, with Beauty to the Streets. Shout out to Miss Shirley. She is fucking amazing. We went out and we passed out pieces from frankincense. We bought a bunch of pieces of frankincense, like $1,000 worth of pieces. Bought a bunch of pieces, bought everybody in line pizza, and went and passed it out for the homeless. We did a live that day, and in that live, people had donated $450. I took that $450 and I bought the burger with it. He had a Cash App. He didn't even accept card or cash because he was so small. He just had a Cash App.
Dang.
And he gave me my burger. I sent the Cash App to him, and it was one person behind me. And he had no idea. Again, he had no idea who I am. He gets out the truck and he's like, excuse me, man, give me a second. He's like, come here, bro. He mad at me. He's like, come here. He's like, get over here. I was like, what happened? I was like, what happened? So at this point, I'm like secretly recording. I'm like, so what happened? And he was like, I think you made a mistake. And he's like visibly mad. He's like, I think you made a mistake. And I was like, what mistake? He was like, the burger is $10. And I was like, okay. He was like, you sent me $450. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he was like, what do you mean you know? You a black man. This is exactly what he said. He said, you a black man like me. You out here hustling like me. I can't take that money from you. He think I'm scamming. He think I'm cracking cars. He like, nigga, they not about to come in and show you know how to fuck up my business. You about to fuck up the only thing I got going. I got one customer.
Give me back the burger now. You're not coming back to me.
Exactly. He was like, give me back my burger, damn near. That's the attitude he had. He was like, you not about to scam me. Ain't nobody coming over here. You wasn't even coming back. You wasn't about to buy this $10 burger. So I know you're not giving me $450. I basically told him, like, this is from a live. I do TikTok. And he immediately broke down.
Man.
He broke down and he was like, I never thought this would happen to me. He's like, I've seen other people on the internet get blessed like this, but I never thought that this was real. And he was in full-blown tears and he gave me a hug. And I was like, I literally told my wife, I was like, this is the one. I went home, I made the video to that effect. That night, I called him back because that video had 3 million views in 1 hour. So I knew it. This is after the frankincense debacle. This was after this is after frankincense. This is after aroma. So I knew at this point. I know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know what's about to happen. So I called him, and as soon as he answered the phone, he said, please be Keith. Please be Keith. I said, this him? He said, My phone is blowing off the hook. He said, I've answered 100 calls in the last hour. What happened? And I was like, I told you I was posting a video. I said I couldn't promise anything, but I told you I was posting a video. He said, people have sent me $30,000 worth of money.
Oh,
Swear.
Oh.
that's
$30,000.
my God. Oh my God.
$30,000.
A burger wasn't sold. He sold shrimp and crab legs. Nothing was sold. They sent him Cash App donations from the video. He didn't have to get in his truck. He didn't have to sell anything. He didn't have to stand there at 10 p.m. by himself waiting for somebody to come. He had $30,000 on his phone for his access. And he was fucking shell shocked. He said, what are we doing, Keith? He said, what are you doing right now?
You're scamming, ain't you? What are you scamming?
He said, what are you doing? And I went back to him the next day, and that $30,000 had went to like $50,000. And he had a line out the door.
So now he got the 50 and he got the customers.
A line around the corner.
Wow.
And every time I talked to Mr. Gary, now I actually went to him like 2 days ago, and he just was like, business has slowed down, but I'm faster than I used to be. He was like, my slow now ain't my slow back then.
Hey!
Yeah.
Come
He said,
on.
my slow now ain't my slow from back there. He's like, the business has slowed, but I'm doing great. I paid my credit cards off. I don't owe anything. He was like, I was in $30,000 worth
Your
of debt.
job is done.
Done.
Your job is done.
I've never took $1 from Mr. Gary, from Fakisons, from Aroma. None of those people owe me anything. Not a dime.
That's why you're the people's
Not
champ.
a dime. I've never taken a dime from anybody.
That's the people's champ. You'll never have to buy a burger in your life.
Oh, no.
If you lose everything.
I went back up there and I paid for my food again. I've been to Frankenstein's back 3 times.
He is like a man after my own heart.
Mr.
And
Gary
again,
is like, what is going on?
That's why I'm so happy I told the story, because now it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm this way because I've been through everything. I know what it feel like.
Yeah.
I was at the bottom of the bottom multiple times.
Man.
Multiple times. I get where that's coming from. So now that I'm in a position to where I can be me and get these blessings, oh, everybody around me getting blessed. Everybody coming with me. Everybody coming with me.
Everybody eats.
Yeah, everybody gotta eat.
eat.
Everybody gotta eat. Because I see myself in people now.
Yeah.
It's like I'm finally at that point where it's like, yeah, I'm 26, but I have a lifetime of experience.
Let me
I
tell
have a
you.
lifetime of experience.
That part.
Yeah, I have a lifetime
That
of
Indiana
experience.
Tech thing is one people's.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
their only story. That is one of
Yeah, I have a lifetime
12
of experience.
for you.
Are you gonna go back to Indiana Tech or?
No.
They're gonna give you an honorary doctorate or something. They're gonna be like, here is your AA to Keith Lee, a champion of the people.
We
I'm
gave
the
him a
original
scholarship.
warrior.
It's crazy. So I went from, like I said, getting kicked out of college, getting kicked out of every school I've been to, doing Postmates, seeing these big ass houses, not being able to afford any of them, and going back in my wife's car, going back to her and just being like, everything gonna be all right. Going to her with $500 in my pocket, flushing birth control pills down, and saying we gonna get married.
The audacity of man.
Man.
Okay.
I got 500 and I
Man.
put the baby in.
We
And
haven't, baby.
Put the baby
And
in
we
your
get
body.
married.
I don't
They
regret
cost
one bit.
$30,000 to get that.
I don't regret one bit.
No.
And the craziest thing is, like, she was more happy than me. She was like, thank you. She saw it before I saw it. She saw me
Oh, they
being me
often do.
before I saw it.
She saw
She
it
was
at
like,
that
please have
orientation.
babies with me. So, because I know you about to be somebody. Please, because I see it in you. She's always believed in me from the very beginning. Shout out to my wife.
Man.
She's believed in me
Ronnie!
before
Ronnie!
I knew what it was to
That's why you
believe
go
in
get the Kit Kats.
That's why he's
Yeah.
still
me.
going.
When she was
You
pregnant,
went
I
and
was
got the
getting
McDonald's
everything.
fries.
Everything.
You
That's how it first started after the family and cooking content was Ronnie's pregnancy cravings. I would go
Yeah.
and get whatever she wanted.
hot
And I
chicken.
mean that from the bottom of her heart, whatever. And those videos were not scripted at all. She literally would be like, I want a cold Pepsi. I'd be like, babe, it's 2:00 in the fucking morning. She'd be like,
Cold Pepsi.
Carter want a cold Pepsi. I
That's
say,
how
Carter
they
getting
do.
a cold
That's
Pepsi.
how they
baby.
do.
The
They use
baby.
the
Riley
baby
getting
on
a
you.
cold Pepsi. and like I said, I live a life with no regrets. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for the things that I've been through. I wouldn't be myself. I would be a shell of myself.
Yeah.
That arrogance that I had turned into confidence.
Wow.
That
I would not
persistence.
believe you had social anxiety from
Terrible.
the way you
It was
are
terrible.
now.
It was terrible, bro.
I know you tell an engaging story.
Yeah.
Very much
TikTok,
so.
sitting here
TikTok
like-
did it to me. I ain't gonna lie. TikTok and my wife and my sister are the two people that told me. My sister met me and my wife when we were 18 or 19, and she was like, "Y'all have to do YouTube." y'all have to do
Y'all
YouTube.
are adorable.
She literally told me, she was like, y'all have to do YouTube. And while I was fucking around and doing whatever I was doing, we were shooting. I got like 6 that I'm going to release eventually. 6 drafts of us awkwardly sitting in the fucking 1-bedroom apartment we had together and shooting drafts of YouTube videos. And it was the most awkward shit you'll ever fucking see.
Oh, I can't
so
wait.
Awkward.
No,
so
I used to, I went down the rabbit hole of Keith Lee, and your dance videos is what
Yes.
blessed my
I used
soul.
to dance.
Yes, you did.
I used to. I can't dance for shit.
Oh,
I got the rhythm of a 2-year-old, bro.
he did this
I can't
one
dance
move
at
and he
all.
said,
Oh, it's terrible.
original choreography, Keith Lee. I said, yes,
The
it is.
confidence. I'm telling you, I've always been confident. Always been confident.
Yes, he did.
But,
You did
but
that.
now my confidence is in God.
Yeah.
My confidence is in my story. I know I've been in front of 40,000 people and been choked out. I know eating food ain't got nothing on that. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you right now. Nothing that you can say to me on TikTok is equivalent to me getting choked out in front of 40,000 people. I'm telling you that right now. It is nothing that you're going to do to me to make me feel that kind of shame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat this food and I'm going to pray to God and I'm going to take care of these babies and my wife.
Come on. Come on.
That's exactly how I carry
He
myself.
said, I done been to the mountaintop and the valley low.
Come on.
There literally is nothing worse.
That's why brands hate me. These big brands, they starting to love me now. But when I first started, when I had 6 million, 7 million, they hated me.
Tell me what you told me on the phone, Keith.
Look, so I have again, it's arrogance, but it's also confidence. I don't care what nobody say. I know you can't whip my ass. I know you can't. I know you can't. I walk in the room like that. I go to more board meetings and I let you know you're not about to play with me. What you gonna do? Whip my ass? No, you're not.
It's not
I know
happening.
you're not.
It's not
I know
happening.
you're not.
No,
and I'm
one
extremely
thing for
confident.
sure. I know can't nobody
Yeah.
here whoop me for
Oh.
sure.
I'm gonna say what I want to say. And again, it comes from the authority issue, but now it's rooted in I'm a very high level fighter.
Yeah.
Before I had that confidence and I didn't know what to do. Oh, now I know what to do.
Right.
Yeah, I fought at the highest level. So when I walk in those boardrooms, especially when I had 6 million, 7 million, I'm not doing anything still to this day. And I can stand on this and be so confident. I'm not doing anything I don't want to do.
Listen, he got the offer from Mr. Beast and said, you got to do 3 things for me.
I'm not playing.
My wife is going to be in one of these videos.
Absolutely.
Period.
I told him what it. I was watching that. I said, Keith, just bend a little bit.
Nah.
But then I was inspired. Like Keith told you what it is and what it. And
serious.
Mr. Beast can't whoop me neither.
What are you gonna
That's what I know.
Okay.
That's what I know.
And you hear me? In God's name. In God's name. And I
What y'all
love Mr.
finna
Beast.
do? Because can't nobody whoop me.
Ain't nobody whoop me.
Absolutely.
So my wife better be in one of these videos.
Man.
We're going to help one of these places out. I said, come
Dog.
on. He said,
Again.
and share it, like, share, subscribe. Put it on all the platforms.
Again, the roller coaster going up. So I'm like, while I'm up here, I'm getting everything.
Everything. I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
But
Pursue and recover
supreme
all.
confidence. So every character that I had as a kid throwing those stories is still here.
Yeah.
But now I'm using it to not only my advantage, but the advantage of the people around me.
So let me ask you this.
Single-handedly changing the culture of how you handle TikTok and TikTok influencers.
Love it.
Yeah, that's
we cannot be happier for you.
For sure.
What now that this has happened in, I mean, exponential growth in the last 6 months.
I've grown 9 million followers in 3 months.
3 months since November.
Since November.
Since November.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, and this is not out of any jealousy.
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
just what God has touched you.
Absolutely.
In 12 years of YouTube, of all the stuff I've done.
It took me 2 years to get
combined.
1.5 million, and it took me 3 months to get 9 million.
Amen.
When God touched you,
when God tell you it's time,
it's time.
It ain't nothing that nobody gonna do to. I've said it a million times. It ain't nothing that nobody gonna do to stop it. When it's God's time, it's God's time.
Still.
Let's not talk about what I don't have. Let's not go down that path.
Man. But you know what, Keith? Honestly, I think, and I probably speak for Angel, Josh, and people who are watching this. We want you to get more.
Man.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you could do for people what you've done with what you have.
Absolutely.
And you could, bro, this Vegas is just one city.
Yes,
One.
Yes.
There's a million, and that's the crazy thing. Actually, this is a small thing that I was thinking when you were saying this. Man, shout out to those people for still getting up and doing their dream
Right.
when they was getting one sale
Absolutely.
or like
Absolutely.
the fact that
That's
they
why
was
I went
still
back.
out there like,
That's why I went back.
all right, today
I love that.
we gonna get it. Like
that.
you really sometimes it takes that level of like ridiculous belief.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Almost
100%.
delusion. Because they was out there like, because I'm pretty confident, but a full day with one sale, or like, oh, we got 2 people today, and they went and got up the next morning and still turned that
I
stuff
know what
on.
that feel like.
I
I'm telling you,
only got
those
a week
3
of that.
years, those 3 years from
Shoot.
2018 to 2021, those 3 years when I said that I got serious about my marriage and I got serious and I was taken care of and I was devoted to her, I was broke. I was waking up every morning knowing I was gonna be somebody. Didn't know how I was gonna get there, but I knew it. So I was waking up every morning with that same arrogance, that same confidence, that same like swagger about myself. I was walking into H&M with no money in my pocket, like I ain't gonna be here for long.
Come on.
I was on Postmates, like I'm looking at these houses, like I'll be in one of these in a minute.
Bro.
I'll see y'all in a second. I had no idea. But it's that faith, that belief, just waking up every morning and doing the same thing every day. That's the grind,
man.
Bruh.
Kevin Hart said it the best. That's the grind.
That's
Waking up every morning, not knowing where you going tomorrow, not knowing if the same thing is gonna happen the next day and the next day. That's the hustle.
So Keith,
That's
we
the
know
hustle.
where you came from.
Yes,
Where are you going?
where God wants me to.
Come
Where He want
on.
me to be. Where
Come
He want me to be.
on.
Yeah, where He want me to be.
Yay!
I
That's
won't
how
even
you
put no
answer.
expectations on it because I didn't expect to be here.
Ooh.
now unto him
Come
I didn't
on.
expect
who
to
is
be here.
able to do
100%.
exceeding abundant
100%.
above all you could ask or think. I mean, he done
100%.
did that with you. I don't know
Yeah.
how many times or how
100%.
many more times, and he done use you as a vessel to do for other people.
And
that's
the
the
amazing
beautiful
thing
about
now,
your story.
and this part of my life, the amazing thing is that I know what it feels like to go down that roller coaster. So I'm not afraid of it anymore.
Come on.
So I'm living without fear.
This
I
part
think
is called
there's
happiness.
power.
There's happiness.
This
You
part
hear
is
me?
called happiness.
I know what it feels like to go through that. So I have supreme confidence that I'm doing the right thing. And that's all that matters. No matter where I go on this roller coaster, all I care about is that I've stayed true to myself. My feet have always been planted. My head has always been high to God. I've always been myself in every asset of the word. To these brands, to these influencers, to these people with these blue check marks reaching out to me every day. I see y'all, but I don't care. Every day.
This is why I didn't want to ask.
Listen, you were going to take that L. You were going to ask, and if he said no, then we were just going to keep on trucking.
I am me, and I will always be me. The amount of people, I feel so bad for like Instagram models and women in general. The amount of blue check mark men that are in my DM, and they all start with the same shit. Yo, I'd be like, get the fuck. It's always the same thing. Yo, and I don't respond, and they be like, what's up?
Get out of here.
Who are you? I know you got 10 million followers. I know you got Billboard charts. But who are you after that? Like, what you want from me? What you want from me? And they be like, yo, let's collab. On what?
On what we gonna
what
do?
We collabing on? What we collabing on? That's why I told you when we first talked, I don't collab with nobody.
Bro, you in Paw Patrol.
Nobody.
And that's the very end
I
of the
be in
video.
a career. Yes, TikTok and God and my wife have helped me with my social anxiety. It's there still.
Right.
Yeah, it's there. I vibe with y'all. And the vibe is immediate. When I got out the car, we hugged. I knew immediately I was in the right place.
Oh, yeah. We
If
got lunch for you. We knew you was hungry.
If the hug was wrong, I'm back in the car.
He's like,
I swear to you.
He's like,
I swear. And I'm learning that no is a full, complete sentence.
Come on.
Listen.
I'm learning no is a complete sentence. So I wouldn't have lied to you. I would have gave you a hug and be like, you know what? I gotta go.
You would have drove all the way up here?
1,000,000%. I walked in the freezing cold.
Listen, come on.
For
in
6
Detroit.
miles. I want you to know.
California road
I'm
ain't
dead
nothing.
serious. Dead serious. So the anxiety is absolutely still there. But when I'm around the people who I truly believe I'm supposed to be around, God erases all of that.
You gonna be all right in this business?
Absolutely.
They be afraid of people like you.
I'm telling you, they used to hate me. They used to hate me. When I first came in, and I was telling them, like, I'm not doing that. I don't give a fuck how much money you offer me.
I was about to say, Keith would have quit this podcast before it started.
Gone.
Keith know how to quit a job.
I'm not going to name drop. I'm not going to name drop. But a company offered me a signing bonus of $2 million. And I told them to kiss my ass.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Keith.
Well, there you go.
Lee. For the $2 million?
I'm not a millionaire. I'm not making that much money.
Right.
I'm blessed.
Right.
But I ain't making nowhere near that.
He said, but I'm not taking
didn't
that.
align with me. It didn't align with me. It didn't align with my faith. It didn't align with my goals. It wasn't for me. That wasn't my $2 million.
Woo!
That was anybody with 10 million followers, $2 million. Anybody who had the platform I had, that was they $2 million to have. Because they didn't look at me as Keith. They looked at me as an influencer with $10,000.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 million followers.
Yeah.
They looked at me as an influencer with 10 million followers, and I'm not that. Yes, I had 10 million followers, but I'm a man of God. I'm a husband. I stand in integrity and my faith. I stand on what I stand on.
I love him.
And it's no amount of money that you're going to give me to stop me from being that.
You know what's the best part about being broke?
That ain't mine.
The fear of, if you've already been broke.
I ain't got no fear of being broke. I know what it is.
He said we had a splendid time.
Amazing. That was some of the best times of my life.
Listen, when you ain't afraid of that, you can't be manipulated.
I told you
can't
$500. Me and my wife got pregnant. One of the happiest days of my life. She told me she was pregnant, and I knew I didn't have no money in my pocket. I didn't care. And I don't care now.
He flushed birth control that they paid for down the
toilet. Knowing what the baby's cost with inflation.
God is amazing.
Yeah.
And again, I'm so, that's why I praise her to the highest extent. She was happier than me when I flushed the birth control down.
Man.
She was elated. She was elated. So to know that you got a partner like that is willing to go through that with you.
Yeah.
I'm easily turning around 2 million. Because the way I look at it is, if I cap myself at this 2 million, I look at it like, all right, if I take this and it's not mine, that's my 2 million. That's my cap. That's all I'm gonna make.
Yep.
Because now your integrity goes out the window.
Yep.
Your honesty goes out the window because you're not doing it for pure intentions.
Yep.
So everything that you stand on all goes out the window, but you got this $2 million. That's probably the highest you're gonna make.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have waited and did something that was for you, let's say you take a deal for $100,000. That $100,000 that's for you can turn into 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. And before you know it, but yes, it might take longer. Yes, you might be going up a road where you working harder, but anything that's worth having takes a long time.
You speaking to me now.
Anything that's worth having takes a long time.
Because sometimes I'll be tripping and
anything
I'll be
easy,
I could cry.
The easier that something comes to you, the easier that it leaves. And that's exactly how it felt when they slapped the offer on the table. I was like, that ain't mine. Yeah, it sound good. I know with 2 million. It sound good. But what is that gonna do once the people see what I'm doing for that money?
Yeah.
What's it gonna do? Like you said, people were the most important asset.
Absolutely.
People are the most important asset.
And you can only
I couldn't look at myself in the
once.
mirror. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. That's what's most important. You want to be in this big ass house with these big ass cars and all of this overhead that you got to pay every month and be miserable.
Come on.
It's only gonna last for a year or two. That 2 million ain't gonna last forever.
Oh no!
You gonna get that big ass house and it's gone.
Faster sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Oh yeah, the IRS coming.
That's 40%.
Oh, they coming.
That's 40%.
So
that shit gonna be gone.
Yeah, come on, get it.
So it's gone before you even realize it.
Yeah.
And then you look up, and now what you got? You ain't got yourself.
Listen, Ocho
you ain't got that
said
money.
this. He said, when your name is, you can always make money if your name is intact. If you lose your name,
100%. That's worth, and that's where my mind's always been. Again, it's the arrogance, it's the confidence.
Yeah,
I'm worth more than 2 million. I'm worth more than that.
100% agree.
I don't know my price yet. I don't know where we going with this, but I know I'm going somewhere far. And I know I'm gonna make it with God.
Key,
I
know you have blessed us on tonight.
People's champ. This is the people's champ.
I told you I wanted to do this. I was so happy we did this.
This was, and I mean, I knew it would be good.
Yeah, I'm so happy we did.
But
I wouldn't want to do it with nobody else. I wouldn't want to do it with nobody else.
This was,
I believe that.
We were like schoolgirls when you said
yes.
Kevin texted me and Joshua was like, Keith.
We was going in. We were so happy. We are so happy for you. This is like,
genuinely,
I will genuinely watch you go to the moon and be like, and he sat right here.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Had him a chicken torta.
That's a fact.
Keith Lee. Whoa, yeah, right before he became $100 million, he told us right here. Yeah, he did. Had himself a chicken torta.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had him some Portos. He drove from Orange County, and I tried. I said, Keith, you ain't got. He said, I'm cool. I'm a
dog.
I said, we can get you a driver.
I'm a dog.
But dogs.
But then he texted me like, "Hey man, this was further than I thought."
You could have been sleeping, Keith.
I tried to tell you,
bro. I hate driving in LA so much.
Oh man,
it's 6 lanes, and every exit is on the opposite side of the lane that you in. I missed 4 exits. I was fully paying attention. My music didn't even connect to the car. So I was driving to Frank Sinatra, playing on the radio, paying full attention, and still missed 4 exits.
You got to put the wave on out here. At least you
Man,
listen to radio.
94.7.
Man, I was like, where are we at? I can't stand like, what are we doing? Yeah. So I'm blessed enough. This is the best part. I'm blessed enough to be in a position to where Bellator, who cut me in 2021, reached out to me and offered me a deal.
Of course.
I told him to kiss my ass.
Come on!
I know it felt great.
Kiss my ass.
God is amazing.
I love it.
God is amazing.
God is amazing.
God
Kiss
is
my
amazing.
ass
God is
in
amazing.
Jesus'
God is
name.
amazing.
God is amazing.
Oh, how the well.
the
They
tables
said
have
they would
turned.
be back. They said they would be
How
back.
the
How the
tables
tables
have
have turned.
Mm.
So they didn't come to me for legal reasons. They didn't come to me directly. They went to my manager and basically were just kind of talking about it. Like kind of airing it. It's like, oh, it might be a possibility. Maybe. And talks. I shut the talks down immediately. We ain't got nothing to talk about.
There's nothing to
Yeah,
talk
why
about.
we talking? Why we talking?
Who's
We finished the
talking? I'm
conversation
not.
We ain't got nothing
back
to
in
talk about.
2021.
It ain't nothing to talk about. God is amazing. It ain't nothing to talk about.
God is
That
amazing.
God is amazing. God bless you.
God
Amen.
bless you. Absolutely. And
God
that's
is
how I left
amazing.
it. God bless you. Absolutely. And I'm blessed enough to be in a position where I will fight again, but I'm gonna fight on my own terms.
Absolutely.
Good.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
want
fight
you
when I
beat up
want
Jake
to
Paul
and how I
personally.
want to.
Oh.
I'm gonna do what I want to and how I want to. And it feels so amazing to be able to say that.
Listen,
It feels so fulfilling to be able to
ain't
say
the
that.
best thing ever to be like, nah.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a reason.
It's freedom.
I don't want to.
It's
Yeah.
liberty.
I don't have
No.
nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't even have nothing else to do.
But $2 million? No.
No.
No. I'm all right.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to do
Because
that.
thank
I fought in September of 2022.
2. I still can't.
Around the corner.
I saw the pictures. He's still in shape.
Yeah,
you
I'm in dog
understand
shape.
if I
Yeah, I'm in
ate
dog
as
shape.
much?
Yeah, I'm in dog shape. I still got a
Size of
6-pack. Yeah. I still got a
He's got
6-pack.
a pack right
Yeah,
here. He's got an
yeah.
extra one.
Yeah,
too.
I'm not as ripped up as I will be when I get back in camp
Yeah.
because I'm enjoying myself for the first time in my life.
As you
Listen.
should.
Actually eating.
You don't
But
got to worry about cutting 30 pounds in 3 weeks
fact,
anymore.
fact. If I fight again, it's gonna be at a higher weight
Oh, I'm
class.
gonna fight at
for
my
sure.
catch. Now
At
we
my
find
night-
out
yeah,
you
yeah, when I
coming to
want
my
to.
catch.
Yeah.
You cut 30
I'm gonna fight
pounds.
at the weight that I want to cut.
Oh.
No more. I used to fight at. So I started at 125, then I fought at 135, and my last fight was at 145. So I've like bounced around weight class because I've gradually gotten bigger too. Naturally.
Yeah.
I'm big as hell right now.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm
Huh?
big. Yeah. I'm big as hell.
Andrew Kevin, you're like,
Oh.
yes.
He still hasn't got
Yeah,
to my
I'm
fighting
big.
class weight, okay?
Yeah, I'm
he
big.
just tell you. He ain't nowhere near. You going to not
Yeah.
cut. You going to have to build.
This is the biggest I've ever been in my life for sure. But again, I'm still ripped up. That's the crazy part.
I
I
know.
still,
I
have an
Crazy.
athlete body.
That's
Yeah, I still have an
crazy.
athlete body.
That's so crazy.
It's nuts,
He's
bro.
still
It's all in my
Two
legs.
of him.
It's all in my legs.
Angel.
Yeah. Well, I've always been a small person. Like I've always been very
Lord,
small.
I've always been big.
Yeah, I've always been very small.
But right there, I was the girl in the tree weighing the branch down. They gonna kill you, Keith. They gonna kill
Listen,
you.
I was thinking the other day, Angel,
I was not the one running.
I thought I was thin, right? I was chunky, then I had a growth spurt, then it came back up. I
bro.
said, oh, that was just a little part of your life.
Oh yeah.
That chunky said, listen, you're going to have from about 13 to about 18. We're going to be
real.
right back at 19.
It was Bellator.
That's
We'll be
hilarious.
back.
Yeah, for real. Nah, that ain't it.
I lied to myself. Keith said it's the biggest he ever been.
Yeah, this is the
Angel.
biggest I've ever been in my life.
Ooh,
I ain't even gonna throw no numbers out, but I'm big right now. Compared in comparison. In comparison to what I used to be.
Listen,
Yeah.
I want y'all to know that when Keith gets nominated for NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Social Media,
I'm gonna be so mad if I'm in that same year. I'm gonna cuss them out.
whoever else is in that year,
I'm gonna be mad.
it's over for y'all.
Yeah.
You're done.
Just
Y'all
don't
just
don't
list
even
his
go to
name
the dinner.
5 times. Just give him the award.
Don't go to
Let the
dinner.
nomination be your victory because
That's
it's over
hilarious.
with. You don't stand a chance.
Chance.
They shouldn't even let people vote that year.
And
Don't
yeah, I
invest
got
in-
imposter
give it to 'em.
syndrome. I got imposter
Keith,
syndrome.
it
That
don't
don't,
matter.
When I
that don't
tell
sound,
you,
It
that don't
don't
sound
matter.
logical to me.
You
When-
got 10 million people believing you're that guy then.
It's happening next year for him, and I'm like, They
Speaking
better
in
not.
They
existence.
better
Oh
not.
no, it's
existence.
definitely happening next year for you. And I do feel bad for anybody that is, who has also worked hard that is
Yeah.
on that same roster.
Absolutely.
I'll be like, let's just give them a participation ribbon. Let's give them something.
Yeah, I do have really big things coming up, and I'm blessed, bro.
Whoa, we
I'm blessed
can't
beyond
wait.
imagine.
Listen,
beyond imagine.
if you're not one of the 10 million people following Keith on TikTok, please follow them. Keith, what would you like to say as we close off? How would
I
you
just
like
want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart.
Thank us.
This has been one of the funnest things I've done in a long time.
Keith is just our little brother.
I'm dead serious.
To beat up people for us.
Yes.
From the
I
bottom
bet
of
you
my
can't walk Keith. Now I'm gonna sit down, but no, thank
I
you.
never thought that I would have a position to be able to tell a story. I never thought that would be a story. I thought somebody else would be telling that story for me because I didn't think I would be here.
Well, it's dope, Keith. This is still part one of your story.
Oh,
I agree.
We're so early in your Wikipedia.
I
We're
agree.
still in early life.
I don't even have a Wikipedia yet. Yeah,
Wikipedia,
you don't need
get y'all. What are y'all doing at Wikipedia? Y'all be commenting on everything else. Ain't nobody making something on Keith.
Your story, where it can go, I'm almost just genuinely curious because of what's happened in such a short amount of time.
But that's why I'm thanking y'all. I've never told this story before. No,
Thank you
everybody
for
has
sharing
only
with
known
us.
me as Keith the food critic.
The
food reviewer.
These were some of the funniest, most interesting
It was the
stories.
I've always just been a food reviewer. At first, I was Kevin Lee's little brother. Then I was Keith Lee that worked at fucking as a lifeguard. Then I was a food reviewer, or the guy who did Ronnie's pregnancy cravings. Now people will know me as Keith Lee.
You definitely ain't Kevin's little brother no more.
Listen, now Kevin is Keith Lee's older brother. This Keith Lee,
man of God,
man of God, man of integrity.
Shout out to y'all. I'm forever grateful.
We are forever grateful. You have taught us a lot. You have been amazing. Me and Angel did our very best to not overtake your stories.
No,
I think we didn't because we were so genuinely interested in
very.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, this is one of the funniest things I've done.
I gotta pause the show. Right. That's when you pause. Liz, come downstairs. The girl had a boyfriend.
the homeboy wasn't a homie.
She had body. You gotta watch this. Let me start it over. So this when the fireworks.
She had body.
Hypnotic.
No,
they was
real.
drinking Hypnotic. That's when he found out.
Yeah, I'm forever thankful, bro. I'm forever in debt to y'all. For real.
No, thank you. We are so glad that you trusted us.
And I will tell y'all from the bottom of my heart, no matter where this journey goes, y'all always have my number. Always.
Well, I'm the only one that got it. I'm not gonna share it with Angel Job. I'm gonna protect it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point where I got an agent now, so you might have to go through her.
We'll go through the agent.
You got Kev.
We'll go through the agent. We'll go through the agent.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Keith Lee full interview. One of the best interviews I've ever been a part of all the people I've interviewed.
That means the world.
This has been one of the top 3 easily.
Wow.
I'm fully invested.
Top 3 is crazy.
We're so excited for you.
I
don't know any. I don't know. This probably is the best.
Yes. What are you talking about? Part 1 was number 2.
You have a huge discography.
Discography.
I didn't fuck you say that word.
What'd you
discography?
Discography.
I don't
you
really
have
say that word out loud.
Huge resume.
Nah, Keith, I'm gonna tell you
to
why.
To put me on the top is crazy.
Because your story
is so good.
I didn't know. Usually when we do interviews like this, we have a producer who does it, and I be finding out stuff. Me and Angel, I was like, "What you want to do?" She was like, "Let's just ask some questions." I was like, "Okay."
So and my
I told you I wanted to
start
from the beginning
of TikTok, and so I would have never known.
Never known.
Being kicked out of 6 schools and can't go to no public schools.
I love that. I love everything.
Pissing?
I love everything.
The Indiana. I don't even know which one's my favorite story.
They're all
the soup water.
It.
It's just guys. It's
soup water.
That man done quit every job.
I'm just staring at myself and just relishing in the moment.
Oh, this
I'm
is
just
great.
Soaking it up. Yeah, I'm just soaking it up.
This is great. Well, thank y'all. Shout out to you, Patreon.
Shout out to you guys.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all because they watching this at 11:20.
Yeah, it's like
on the
our
Pacific.
Local time.
So it's
for us.
2
before I asked where's the furthest people have been, so people were watching in London.
Jesus.
London.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still
morning
I don't know if they're
time.
still awake in it. But
They got up
Shout
for
out to
Keith.
y'all.
I mean,
Shout out to
y'all have been. It's most of our
220
people are
crazy.
Eastern Standard Time or Central.
When this going up, Kevin?
As soon as Josh get it to me.
So make sure you also, while you didn't got here to 2 minutes and 30, 2 hours and 30 minutes, Take your tail on over to NAACP,
Mm.
okay, and vote for my brother Kevin.
Or just join the Patreon for 1 month
Or
as appreciation.
Oh, that's why you said that. You
Yeah.
got awarded for NCAA.
He's lost
I'm still-
twice.
I still lost twice.
So
It's my story
Bellator would
about
have
you.
cut him.
This is my
They would have cut him. So he's on his third one. And we're
And if I
trying.
don't get it, when y'all call back, I will be on the same time to keep us on.
Kiss
I don't
my
recognize acronyms.
Kiss my ass.
But
That's
Patreon, Stage
hilarious.
Crew, I really appreciate y'all, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everybody else, if you can't afford it, I get that too. But the people
That's
who
why
give,
the vote is free too.
yeah, voting
That's
is free.
fire.
But the people who give, y'all allow us these opportunities. Even though Keith didn't take nothing, we try to fly, we try to put him up, we try to give him a driver. He said, no,
Mm-mm.
I drive
rented
my
my
own
own car.
self.
Yeah.
Rented his own car
Rented
in the
my own car.
world. But I really appreciate y'all because without y'all, I don't even know where we would be.
Mhm.
Shout out to you, Keith Lee. I mean,
Shout out to
just
y'all.
we just
This
wish
is
the
amazing.
best
Shout out
for
to
you
God.
as you go.
God is amazing.
God bless y'all.
God bless you.
God keep you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Have an amazing day.
That's fire. That was one of the funniest
Keith.
things I've ever